my god, tell me I'm pretty.
Hello, everyone. We're finally doing it. I
Hello.
I feel like we've been organizing this for quite a long time. Like,
Too long.
because I think it was a July sub reward, and you guys even voted before that. So it was like a choice between three things, and you guys are like, Mock 40K. It won by a lot. So it's been a while in the making. That was meant to be Doom. What? I don't even know. Mark. Okay, look, you finally get, yeah, I was gonna say you finally get to see the name typed as well. Jean knows it. It's Mark. There you go. So this is Mark that you guys hear in the background. Usually sneezing really suddenly and scaring the shit out of
Yeah,
me. That's Mark.
and that'll happen today as well.
Still gonna scare the shit out of me. Mark.
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 Hey, Mark, how's the car keys?
Mark. Oh my god. I thought we'd chill for a little bit to get people time to kind of get in here as well. Because I know there's a few people who are planning to set up. If you hear Mink squeal, Mock is around. Maybe? Yeah, I
We're
guess.
actually in separate
We're in
rooms
different
today, which
rooms
makes it
today.
easier.
Yeah, we can actually talk normally for once. It was Jake playing with Bear and played to the wrong person and said the wrong name. Fuck it, just roll with it, right? Jarvis, hello, it's so good to see you again. How have you been? Hydrate. I'm Mark. Mock.
What?
Okay.
Add.
Oh my goodness. M-O-K. I believe in you guys. You can do this. Mock. It's because I have an accent, okay? Mac. Oh my god, stop it. Mock!
I am not a real person. I am an AI modulation.
That must be messy. He's next door. Is that next door? Yeah, he's next door. He's usually in front, but he's next door today. He's been banished to his room.
Hobby
Paint.
area.
His hobby area. It's not too bad actually. It's looking pretty good. He's not correcting us.
I cleaned
He's
it
too
up a lot for
polite.
the stream.
He's too polite. Yeah, you thought the stream was
Yeah.
last week. He was all ready
Oh,
to go, and I was like, "Oh no, it's it's next week."
dude, like John, if it starts with an M and ends with some kind of C or K sound, I don't really care.
What about?
There's a lot of background to my nickname, and there's about 10 different ways to spell it. So
There's only one correct way though, but we ignore it
yeah,
and we say
MOK is the
K
correct
anyway.
way.
Milk.
Milk,
Milk.
milk.
Oh, Jacob's here. Yeah,
Um,
Jacob got it right. Jacob gets bonus points.
no joke. I learnt to speak while I was in Canada as a little baby with my family on a work exchange.
Milk.
And my first word, without, I'm not making this up, my first word was mulk. A nice glass of mulk. I'd hold out my tippy cup to my mum
Milk.
and go, mulk. So,
Milk.
yeah, that's,
That just reminds me of The Simpsons, a really old school episode where he's like, but I always drink plenty of milk.
now with vitamin F.
Aw. A couple of nights ago at 4 a.m., I watched a muscle man dancing to an anime song, and I thought, man, I should join a gym. I scrolled down, saw making a Japanese style egg salad, and thought, I do have eggs. Did they? Their potato egg salad is amazing. It's really good. And it was so hard to find that, but when I finally found it, it was very worth it. Hello, everyone. Hi, Mark. Hi, Spartan. Can you show off Spartan, please? I was thinking,
Glad you can make it, Spartan.
who yesterday thought the music in the background was some of the Halo soundtrack, then heard the gothic medieval style. Nope, nope. This is the 40K music list. I'm already enjoying some of it, actually. I really like the 40K music.
I do wish I could hear it.
No, you cannot. I mean, you could, but then you'd hear yourself as well. That would be weird. Oracle listens to the stream while he
Jake,
streams. That's crazy.
yeah. Jacob, what am I making? Mostly mistakes.
Oh my god. No, it's gonna be great. All right. My question is, oh, well, it's 8 o'clock now. My question is, do I get boba? Hmm. I won't. I'll stick Pepsi Max.
My
Okay.
question is my food sitting on the doorstep?
Oh, do you want me to go check?
No, it's all right. I could.
If you want, do you want boba?
Bailey, that is a really bad joke.
Musk? No. Milk.
Actually, yeah. If you're getting boba, I'll get like
Okay.
a jasmine or an oolong or something
Okay.
with white pearls.
Oolong.
Does you like metal music?
No sugar.
I does like metal
Less
music
ice.
quite a bit.
He does. He likes old school stuff. White pearls. At card. Okay. Alright. I have ordered it for you. I'll put it in for you later.
Yay! Oh, actually, we might be able to dress this.
Musk is actually an actual smell. Like musk sticks. It's like a actual type of smell.
Can I put this somewhere else? Whoop. No, I'm gonna
What
knock
are you
the entire
doing?
camera off. Let's
No!
do that.
It took us so long. Stop it. Oh my god.
Sorry, I noticed that the cord was in the shot, and I wanted to try and move it out,
Oh my god.
and I got it.
No, you didn't.
There we
It's still
go.
in shot. It's right there in the bottom left-hand
Yeah, but a
corner.
tiny bit now.
Okay, fine. The big hand Manfred. You're gonna give him a complex, Sean. It's the camera. It's alright. It's an attraction thing, Mark. Big hands, bigger to, I don't know, strangle.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. I'm
very
gonna
much
stick on
so.
theme
Yeah.
and play Space Marine 2. See what I can do with some designs of my Space Marines. Nice. Okay. Alright.
Actually,
You gonna light the candle?
I can't put it anywhere.
It makes me laugh
That's the
so
problem.
much though. Big hand gang. Anatomy is incredibly interesting. Okay. Okay.
Oh, you know, do I get it Yeah,
you,
get it out.
what are you getting out?
Just I told Spartan in the Discord, if you're going to paint minis, keep your first mini.
You've moved the
And this is the
camera,
first
by
mini
the
that I
way.
painted. Have I?
Yeah, so now you need to like push it so it's slightly down towards the desk more if you want it to how you wanted it. Yeah, there you go. Just a little more.
There we go.
There
All
we
right.
go. Now you'll be happy.
That's showing a lot of cable work. Anyway, yeah, keep the first mini that you've ever painted. This is mine, and it's awful. And
Should
I'm so proud of it.
should I flip the camera, guys? Do you think that's I flip it for mine. I was trying to decide or whether are you gonna know to like turn everything around?
Yeah, it might be best to
It's
flip
a
it because
very
then,
professional setting. Take notes. Well, I can't
yeah,
leave my desk, so you get what you get with me, all right? He's much better at these kind of things than me. All right, we'll see how we go.
let's flip it.
You want to flip it? Okay, all right, I'll try.
Yeah, I
You're
think it'll
watching, aren't
make more
you?
sense to flip it. I
Okay.
am watching. So it is confusing watching my hands come from the top.
Filters
Love and kittens.
effects. Kittens. Hello. I can never remember how to do this. Oh yeah, I remember. Transform. Oh, it's because it's locked. Everyone's gonna remember before I put like koi on or something though, because I will flip horizontal. I always get confused. Wrong.
Vertical.
Ugh. It's always the other one. Always the other one. Okay, flip. Where are you? Vertical. Okay, how do we feel about this? Yeah, this feels better. It'll come up for you soon.
It's left, right. Did you flip it horizontal as well?
Oh my god. Probably. Hang on. Oh my god. Horizontal. There. Do you like this?
There we go.
Okay. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Minx lives at her desk. Are you like glued to it or something? No, as in because I'm the streamer, I have to be at my computer desk when I do my miniatures. So I didn't get a cool table. This was originally my table. He stole it.
I don't know if you want
It was
to
my painting
zoom in at all
table.
when I actually start, but
Ah! It's because you touched it.
because I touched it.
I can't zoom in. You want me to zoom in as well? This is it. This is the setup. Oh,
Cool. All right. Well, this is it.
oh my
No, that
god.
was too far. The wrong way. I know. I'm sorry.
He
It just
touched it.
started falling. So
He touched it. Okay, you need to squiggle it slightly because it's up more towards the orange side. So you need to down that side. That's very confusing. Rotate it slightly on your so the right hand side comes towards you just a tad. Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yay! We got there. Jesus, how often does Twitch serve up ads? I'm logged in and everything.
There shouldn't be ads right now. It's so scuffed. I literally told him just roll with being scuffed. It's less stressful. It's just for fun.
Scuff, scuff.
Yeah, it's all scuff. The floor is yours. Are we gonna let? Yeah, I would have lit the
Cool.
candle. I bought him a candle for
You
his
want to light the
birthday.
candle? I will need
This is
to
my
get.
birthday present. Do you want to go get your lighter?
I will need a lighter. Yeah, and I don't know where to put it because it's going to go straight up into the
Oh
camera
yeah,
there.
maybe.
Yeah, so Games Workshop made a series of like, I don't know what got into them, but they made a series of branded candles. And this one is the Tau candle, apparently the scent of expansion, but it's just sort of like, If you went into any candle shop and got a candle labeled Ocean Spray, this is probably what it would smell like. There we go. Candle lit.
It's so cozy now. The scent of expansion. Wait, who's calling what out? Oh my god, I love it. Scent of expansion. All right, this is gonna be interesting. I mean, we don't, I
Cool.
realize we don't have the best quality camera, but we'll try our best. You can like hold things up towards it, and we'll
Yeah,
do
if
the.
I hold it up here, you'd be able to see it pretty well, right?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah,
Yeah, all right, cool.
it'll be the best. The best we can do.
Um,
And
unfortunately, yeah, zoom on the camera would be nice, but Discord won't let us do that.
it's just gonna make the pixels bigger. So
No, I mean like an actual zoom
enhance.
on the camera lens.
Oh right, yeah, no,
Because this has
that
got
I
like
can't do.
4 times optical zoom, but
What
it's
does
not going to do it. But in Discord,
your the thing that the what do you call it? The magnifying glass.
no. Do you think I can?
I
Will this
don't
actually work?
know. Maybe. Hold it. Let me. Oh my god, it kind of does. Okay, bring it towards you. Towards you. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Sorry. Bring. Okay, go back to where that was before. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
right. I see what you're saying. And then bring that towards me.
Not quite. So slightly to your left. Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like it's actually the same amount of detail. Honestly, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that improved. I
It's a
wanted.
bit of a blob.
Yeah, it's too much of a blob.
Oh, that's a pity. I kind of really want to show off some of the detail. Well, we'll talk theory more
You
than.
kind of can, but yeah. You might just have to hold it right up to your camera, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be out of light then. That's all right.
Ang.
So, if we're going to kick off, I'm going to give you, okay, so some background. I have 22 years of experience in painting. Um, so I've been a fan of 40K since the very early days of second ed, which was released in about 93. I showed you the earliest miniature that I painted, Blood Angels, came in the starter set. Then I moved into Imperial Guard. The keen-eyed of you may have noticed a Ragnar Blackmane in there as well, which is a Space Wolf model. And then in 2001, Tau were released. And I just loved the look of the infantry and the vehicles. And I love the idea that the Tau were essentially space NATO, using a combined arms force, over the horizon missiles, that kind of stuff. And it caught my whole brain on fire. And I've been collecting Tau ever since, as well as some Imperial Guard still here and there. And I'm going to show you some techniques that I picked up over the years. I'm going to talk about some various different styles of paint that are on the market. I'm going to be showing off mostly Citadel stuff, like Games Workshop stuff, but you don't need to necessarily always do Games Workshop stuff. If you enjoy painting miniatures, you can pick up 3D printed miniatures on the cheap. You can pick up a whole range of other producers. I'll go through the benefits of why I like Games Workshop stuff better. You don't have to use Citadel paints. You can use Vallejo paints or Army Painter. You don't have to use Citadel spray paints. You can use Rust-Oleum Auto Primer if you want. It's a hobby that has the reputation of being super expensive for mostly little bits of plastic, but it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be somewhat cheap. Um, and it's a very rewarding hobby as well. Before I show you how to paint, I'm going to talk about why we paint and what we paint and that kind of stuff, because I can sit down, put on some music, grab the paintbrush, grab a miniature or a squad of miniatures, as I've got here, and then 4 hours later, I'll go, oh, maybe I should actually have some breakfast. It's that kind of engrossing hobby that can really get you into the zone in a way that I found that not many other things can do. It's very meditative. And it gives you a huge sense of pride at the end of it when you've painted up something and you're super happy with the result. Because there's some certain amount of pride when you're a mini painter going from this bare gray plastic, putting it together, and then ending up with that, a mini that you've put together and painted yourself. You can be super proud of your work. You can put it on display. And then maybe, like, I'm not even going to talk about playing games. There's a couple of techniques I'll talk about if you're only interested in getting minis painted up to play games. But I mostly paint 40K because I enjoy the painting itself. It's not, I enjoy the collecting and I really enjoy the building and I enjoy converting, but mostly it's the painting that I really enjoy more than anything else. And that leads me to the next thing. What are you going to paint? Like I said, I'm painting 40K here at the moment. I'm painting some Tau. But you don't need to. You can just 3D print out stuff. I do tend to find the Games Workshop uses injection molding for their plastic, and it's come a long way, just like Gundam does as well. They use injection molding. That's one of the reasons why it's so expensive. If you're getting 3D printed miniatures, you're going to find that there's a surface effect that you really need to sand them down because they have a somewhat gritty surface texture, and that's only exacerbated by putting on primer underneath. So I like to paint 40K minis because I think that they're exceptionally high quality miniatures, and I really do enjoy painting them. They've got a great amount of detail on them. And then before you ever break out the paintbrush, you should have a little bit of a think about what colors you want to paint your mini. Because there's a whole color theory behind painting a mini, making it look good, making it all work together. And one of the things that you'll find is the idea of, especially if you're painting Space Marines, the idea of heraldry. You can make it very historical. You can go for a traditional heraldric look, which is using only the colors of like blue, red, yellow, purple, white, and black, and brown. And anytime that you have a metallic, it's either gold or silver, and those correspond to yellow or white. So you can use that to inform yourself, inform what kind of color scheme you want, or you can go to a color wheel and you can go for opposite colors, or you can go for complementary colors, or you can go for a color triad. So just to give you an idea with the color wheel, I'm just going to pull out some colors here. I always forget which way around it goes.
Do you mean printing or painting, Koi? I like how Koi's like, what models are we printing today? One day it'll be perfect, Koi. You can print it, he can paint it, and then we sell it for millions of dollars and live on a tropical island. Bam. I'm still working on that
There
middle
you go.
bit. Still working on that middle bit.
So you got your basic color wheel, and if you're going to choose a triad of colors, you're essentially putting a triangle on top of this. Or you can choose a quatrone, a tetrad of colors, in which case you're putting like a square on top of it. You're choosing colors that are opposite, and then another set of colors that are opposite in order to make certain that the model kind of has visual interest on it. And then you can play around with those kind of tones. And you want to think about this before you really do too much painting, because I've got at the moment something like 150 Tau miniatures painted up. And I've all the way back when I started, I picked out a color scheme that I kind of liked based on inspiration from the Codex.
Thank you, take it.
And I've kept with that for essentially, 20 years at this point.
I like how we're
So,
even getting into color theory.
so in this case, what I did was I chose a triad of colors, which was a blue, a red, shifted a little bit towards the purple and towards the orange, and then a white, which was shifted all the way, like a yellow that was shifted all the way up to white. So taking that hue, but shifting it all the way up. And then paints have changed a little bit over the years, and things have changed, moved around a little bit. And I do tend to find I actually move into a bit of a a quadrant on some miniatures where I use green as an accent color, like a tetrad, and then we've got blue and red, and then a green and a yellow instead of that very bright white. And that gives visual interest to the model where I've got this overall bluey gray model, and then it's broken up by interesting bits of white, and then interesting bits of red, and I'm using that for seniority markings and that kind of stuff. And then on high-tech models, I'll use silver for the tech stuff and then brass for the really esoteric stuff. So that's, again, that brass is a yellowish color, and then that silver is a whitish color. So the silver complements with the white that's on the miniature, and you'll see here that I don't actually put silver anywhere that it touches the white. The silver goes next to the blue. I will have a white stripe on the blue occasionally, and then if I've got any metallics that are on the white, I'll be using a brass color, and that stops the miniature kind of washing itself out. It means that the miniature, all the detail has been picked out.
There's an interesting comment from Spartan that I'm laughing at. When I told my dad once over that I were getting into 40K, he was like, try not to get too into painting. It's a bloody expensive hobby. It's true. It's so expensive.
Yep. And look, when
Especially
Citadel make excellent paints, but when Citadel's charging you $6 for a pot this size, yes, it's going to last me a huge amount of time, but it's still bloody expensive. You can get army painter paints that are much cheaper, and you can get Vallejo paints that are, cheaper than Citadel, but still fairly expensive. So that's the idea behind it. I also, when I first picked up the Tau Codex, so the very first one back in the year 2001 when it first released, they had a tiny little, it was back in the days where Games Workshop was actually a struggling company. And they had mostly black and white pages, but they had color pages in the middle of all of their codexes. And right here is the inspiration for my Tau army. It's a gray warrior, black and gray warrior. And I saw that, I looked at this page of Tau color schemes, I looked at that and I went, fucking yes, fantastic. That's what I want to paint.
The really boring gray. That's what I need in my life.
That's exactly it. I love the idea of night fighters and that kind of stuff.
Perfect.
So
corporate blue.
I chose, yeah. Well, the way I painted it almost comes out as denim. So I chose that blue color. I painted up a couple of miniatures, and then it came to painting the Tau faces themselves, the heads. And the problem that you have with Tau is that in the first edition, they kind of painted them as gray flesh. But in the later editions, what they did was that gray that I chose as the base color for the entire of my army, they chose as the color for Tau flesh. That's what they settled on, and that's what they did moving forward. So I thought, that's not going to work. So I had to choose this green, like we were talking about with a color triangle, choosing a tetrad color. It's kind of light mint green.
Exact. Thank you so much for the raid. I'm sorry the alert didn't go off. I don't know why I'm apologizing on behalf of all of Twitch, but I'm sure Twitch is very sorry to you that you did not get the welcome that you deserved. Welcome, everyone. My name's Minx. This is our special guest mock. Last month, every month we do a sub goal, and if we reach it, something unlocks. And our community voted that they wanted Mock to do a basic 40K painting workshop. So I'm going to guess most of the people from your side, Exec, probably have been into this at some point, or are into this, or have some knowledge. But we're doing a beginner's atmosphere. You don't have to know anything about 40K or even Warhammer. You don't need to know anything about painting or miniatures. We're starting from the beginning. It's just something that can be a little bit hard to get into. It feels very nerdy. So we're starting from the very beginning. Thanks and welcome, Shouty. Yeah, we were expecting you. And my guys, if you're not following Exec, I feel like everyone's following Exec. We're like old school friends now, but please go get on board that ship. Go get food and lurking. Pirate's been streaming for a very long time. So please go look after yourself and then come back and nerd with us. Come back and nerd. Sorry, Mark, continue. 10 hours of
Perfectly
work.
fine. So all I'm saying is once you've like you don't paint out of the blue. There's going to be some inspiration for why you paint. So dig into that inspiration and figure out what it is that you like. Like I like the idea of Tau being similar to a modern army, kind of high tech. They've got skimmers. I'm going to want to highlight the tech bits on the miniatures. And also because this was the third army that I was painting, I set myself the goal of kind of not doing too many shortcuts. And I'll talk about some more shortcuts in a little bit. But decide what colors you want to use. Decide what the motivation is for you painting, and then pick up a brush. Go for it. The very basic things that you will need to start painting 40K or any kind of miniatures is you need a miniature that you've built and you've undercoated. You need a brush, you need some paint, you need some water, some fresh water. And that's it. That's all you need. There are people who will say that you need to thin your paints herder, all that kind of stuff. The 40K community likes to make the same 8 jokes all the time. But you really just need these 4 things and some water. And that's all you need. I do recommend having some proper primer because primer is not like normal paint. Primer is a special type of paint that adheres to the miniature and causes a good base for you to be able to paint on. But you don't need to use Citadel primer. Like I said, you could go to the hardware shop and pick up some Rust-Oleum car auto primer. It will work perfectly fine. It might give you a little bit of a rough finish, but it's going to be perfectly serviceable for your first model. And then grab your paint, grab your brush, go to town. You can paint
Bagheera,
directly out
welcome.
of the pot.
Can we get a shout out for Bagheera, please? Welcome in. We've just kind of started, but let us know if you have any questions.
And this is a Citadel starter brush. It's fine. It's synthetic bristles. It will do the job. And then you just paint out of the pot, grab your paint, throw it on your mini. You will mess up your first model. Keep it. You always want to see how far you've come because when you get to the end of your collecting hobby and you're looking at something that you've done in like half a day and you're going, wow, this looks really amazing. And then you look back at your first mini that took you half a day and it looks awful. You're going to be so proud of yourself.
That's really
The
cool. I
only
like
other
that
two
idea.
things that you the only other things that you need absolutely when you're first starting is a nice big space that has something spill proof on it, hopefully, which is why I've got this cutting mat. So if I spill paint, it spills on here, not on the nice desk, although this desk ain't that great. And light. At the moment, I have 5 sources of light at various places around the room. And the reason for that is so that I'm not casting too many shadows on the mini. It's great if you've got a nice big bay window that you can open the curtains in and you're painting in natural sunlight. That's also fantastic. Just need space and light, and then you can go to town.
Hey Silver, welcome. Can we get a shout out for Silver? He's actually got 7 sources of light, but like 2 of them are broken, and that's not including the window. It is like light central in there. You walk in and there's just lights everywhere.
And like I said, it's so I'm not casting a direct shadow all over the mini as I'm painting it, as I'm hunched over it. That's the basic essentials that you need. And you can just start painting, put some paint on the mini. But there are some things that I would say are probably needed if you decide, if you've painted a mini and you look at it and go, you know what, I actually like this. I'm going to continue down this hobby. There's some other things that you should probably get. And one of them is just something to mix paint on. This is what I've used for 15 years for mixing paint. It's just an old dish. There you go. And you'll want some paper towel or something so you can clean up any spills with. That's pretty essential. And you use that to thin down your paint a bit. You mix your paint with some water on that brush or on that dish. And thinning out the paint means that it flows off the brush easier, so it gives you a little bit more control. If you decide that you do want to paint, the very first thing that I recommend is picking up a better brush. because the Citadel starter paint is pretty awful. Citadel starter paintbrush is pretty awful. It's a basic synthetic brush. It's thrown into their starter kits. It's only designed to get you started. It's not really a great brush.
It feels like it's a
Citadel makes
rite of
some really excellent
passage.
brushes. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Like you have to use the shit brush before you can progress young Padawan, you know. If you can wield
That's
this.
exactly it. Um, and Citadel makes some really excellent brushes. There are other people out there who make excellent brushes as well. Vallejo and Army Painter, again, are two examples. There's many, many companies who make excellent fine brushes for a whole bunch of different reasons. So you can find easily a good painting brush. If you are going to airbrush, Koi, don't airbrush indoors. Airbrush or get a very good fume hood.
He's
I'm
got
going
a
to skip
gas
talking about
mask.
airbrushing today. I've got a gas mask,
He's
yeah.
actually got a gas mask. It's epic. I just
Yep.
walk in and he's like outside with a gas mask, and I'm like, it's just Mark. It's all right. We're used to this.
Oh, yeah. Also, if you're using primer, do it outside. It's got acetone in it. You don't want to do it inside. You'll burn your lungs. If you're going to use an airbrush, it's probably best to do it outside. Aerosolized paint is not great to throw into your nasal passages or your lungs.
So essentially,
So
this
let's get
hobby is the
started on some
equivalent
painting.
of smoking, you know, but just more creative. Why spend
There we
$50
go.
on a pack of cigarettes when you can buy some 40K? Same addictive process as well.
So what I'm going to do, you've seen me pull out something here. It's called a wet palette. And what a wet palette is it's a piece of paper suspended over a sponge, essentially. And the benefit of that is that it keeps your paints dry. It keeps your paints from drying out. Like this allows me to mix it with a little bit of water. It gets a good consistency. Then I can put the lid on it, and then come back tomorrow, and it's still going to be nice and wet.
It's actually
With your
insane,
paint,
that thing. Like, it just stays
oh,
wet.
I came back. I came back after a hiatus of about 3 months, and the paint was still kind of usable. Like I had to get rid of it. It wasn't really full usable anymore.
It's so ridiculous, though. It's just such a good
But it
investment.
was still wet.
So I was saying, as Mock
The
was
problem
saying,
that I find.
mm,
Oh, go on.
I was
I
just
was
looking at
just
Spice
reading
Card.
Spartan's comment as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. I was spending about an hour looking for inspirations on Salamander Heraldry. It helped a lot since Space Marine 2 just gives you the base for each chapter without any heraldry, markings, and colored deviations for rank. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep. So what I've done here is I've pulled out some The Fang, which is an evocative name, but this is just a blue-gray. It's what Citadel calls a base paint. And Citadel's base paints are like hyper-pigmented. They're super rich pigmentation. So you can paint over anything. Some people, I'm old school. I still undercoat my minis black. Some people undercoat their minis white. Some people undercoat their minis various other colors. You can get like greens and browns and reds and all sorts of colors for your primer. I like to just paint over black because, as you'll see with my finished minis, black is one of the colors that I use to like differentiate different areas of the minis.
You guys silver
Black
undercoats
is not
govern like
good.
grey.
There you go. Black is not good when it comes to using contrast paints. So this is a contrast paint called Space Wolves Gray. If I was to do Space Wolves Gray over, I think I use Ulthuan Gray. I use Gray Seer as the base for my minis. You can see the head of this guy here. I've base coated that Gray Seer, and then I did the Space Wolves Gray contrast paint over it. Can you see that? No, that's too dark.
You just kind of shoved
And
it up so quickly. I don't think the camera had a chance. Hang on, do it a bit slower.
no, I could tell that
Oh
it
yeah,
wasn't
it's
going to
going
be able to
into
pick
the
up much.
shadows. It could once it's in
It's
the
going into
shadows
its
if you
shadow.
point a light, but yeah, actually it's very good focus. You just need a light there. Interestingly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem. Could I splash some more light up somehow? No. Um, so you can see with this mini, I've base coated it black. Most of the mini that I've base coated is that fang that I'm mixing up on my pad at the moment. But the head, the flesh, I did Gracia, and then I did a contrast paint of Space Wolf Grey over.
Oh, I
And
love
we'll
his
do that
hair.
again for the ethereal in a bit. It gives you a different effect. So with the black and then the fang over the top of it, it gives me a lot of control, but it makes it one solid color. Whereas if you're using a contrast paint, which is a brand new type of paint that I love, I don't use it that much, but
meditation. Take
it's a great innovation in
breath
paint
through your
technology.
blowhole
Innovation in paint
and
technology.
relax.
That happened since I took a break from from the hobby.
Of this ocean,
But it's great for flesh and it's great for cloth because it's got a very interesting surface area. Like it doesn't have much. Thank you. Sorry, Boba just got here. It's got an interesting surface viscosity, and a contrast paint will pool in the recesses a lot more, but it will still give a nice even cover over the rest of the mini as well. So later this evening, I'm going to be throwing some contrast paint on this ethereal here because there's lots of big flesh areas, and that's a great application for that. Contrast paint, however, is also great if you don't really have a huge amount of time and you only want to get minis onto the tabletop to play with, because that pooling in the recesses means that it does its own shading. The goal of mini painting is to get a base coat on, to shade it somehow, and then to highlight it. That kind of 3 levels gives you a very realistic looking mini. So it catches the light, it pulls out all the details that the miniature naturally has, and it lets you, it looks really good on the tabletop. And don't forget, unless you're entering into like Golden Demon competition or whatever, you're going to be looking at these miniatures from 2 meters away as you're playing on the tabletop. So what I'm going to do is just put on a little bit of base coat here. So we'll quickly work together to base coat a mini, and then we'll talk about different styles of paint and different techniques a little bit after that. So what I've done, I've pre-wet my brush. I always make certain with the bristles never to put paint more than halfway up the bristles. You never really want to get paint underneath the ferrule, which is the metal bit that holds the bristles onto the brush. Because once you get paint under there, you'll start splaying out the bristles and you'll start to get, like, it will dry under there and it'll start pushing the bristles apart, and you'll get bristles that go all over the place, and you'll get stray bristles and that kind of stuff. You can recover a brush if it gets like that with some methylated spirits or some painter clean or whatever. But it's just best, prevention is better than cure. It's best to not put paint too far up your brush.
Here's a
You
question.
want to get just a...
Do you lick your brush?
Yes.
I feel
So
like
I
it's
don't...
such a thing. Yeah, okay.
It is a thing. I lick my brush. I don't lick my brush when there's paint on it, but when I've put it through the water, I will then use the corner of my mouth to reform the point. But don't forget, I'm from painting in the 93. There were pewter models. They had lead in the models. You did not want to be licking your brush.
This is why you're so
Like,
special.
yeah, it's probably half the reason why I'm so special. Yeah, okay, Spartan, you picked up the Radium Girls. Yes. They used to lick the brush to put the point back on it so that they could apply radium paint to the watch faces, to the hands on watches, and to the numbers on watch faces.
Oh my
And they were told that it was
god.
fine, but they were building up radium in their jaw and half their face melted away. It's insane. So I've got a little bit of paint on my brush. I've thinned it out a little bit on the wet palette. You may have seen that I was twirling it as I pulled the paint on it, and I pulled that into a point. That's just something that I do so that I get a nice fine point on the brush. And then, and this is especially true if you've got shaky hands like me after 3 coffees, no lunch, put your hands together. Have the fingers, like the little fingers and ring fingers from each hand, touching each other. And in this case, I also rest my hands on the table itself. And then it's just a matter of making certain that as you apply the paint to the mini, let the mini do the work. And we'll talk about that a lot more when it comes to talking about highlighting and layering. But just be patient. Pull the brush up, like towards, like away from the point of the bristles. And then you can also use the side of the brush. And you're just looking at getting a nice controlled even layer. When you've thinned your paint, it may not make a full complete layer on the first go. So don't worry about if it's a little bit streaky. You may have over-thinned the paint a little bit, but that's fine. It's better to do 2 thin coats than it is to do one very thick coat that obscures detail and catches on, catches in the cracks and that kind of stuff and just papers over everything. And the reason you're painting a miniature is because you want to pull out what is there on the miniature, and then you can also use the paint to make implications about what could be there as well. So by
He's
that,
okay,
I mean, at the
Sean.
moment,
He's not going to starve. Don't you worry.
I'm not going to starve, don't worry. I had an apple before we started. It's okay. And it's just a matter of putting a little bit of paint on with a little bit of control, knowing where it is that you want the paint to go on the mini, and then just making certain that you've got nice control on the brush. And there we've just painted the guy's helmet up, and you can see that I've left, there's a little crease in the helmet, actually. You may not be able to see it at that level of detail, but there's a tiny little
Yes,
crease on the
Sean.
helmet. I've left that, it's still black. You don't have to leave that. That's just something that I like to do with Tau minis. Some people will come back and just go over that with a little bit of shade when they're coming to shade the mini. Some people will use like Tamiya panel lining pens that are special types of artists' pens that they use to line all the panels of the Tau armor. And then it's just a matter of picking out the bits that you want that one particular solid color, and then focusing on that. And every so often you'll want to
Hi, Pup.
just pick up a little bit more paint. You'll be able to tell when it goes thin. And then every so often, every few minutes or so, you'll want to flush your brush, because while the paint's drying on the mini, the paint's also drying in the brush. You don't want paint to dry on the brush, so after a couple of minutes, you just flush it out with water and then go back and pick up some more paint and continue painting your mini.
So you've pre-decided the bits that are going to be blue, and you're only painting those blue bits.
That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very calming and meditative.
And is putting an undercoat on because of the texture of the plastic?
That's exactly right. So the reason I recommended using a primer is because, and I've actually skipped a step here. What I've done is I've primed these miniatures with Chaos Black, but then I hit them with a very, very thin wash of very watered down Abaddon Black, which is the base paint. And the reason I've done that is because purely undercoated minis have a bit of a matte, shiny finish, whereas minis which have been hit with that black undercoat, you can see it's lost a little bit of that gloss. Probably hard to see here because primer isn't really paint. It's got a different kind of consistency to it. The primer, because the acetone, it kind of melts the plastic and metal of the model a little bit and molds in to the model. So it kind of grabs onto the model and then provides a good space for your paint to actually adhere to. So I've primed these minis black, then I've hit them with a black wash, but you don't need to hit your paints with a you don't need to hit your minis with a black wash unless you're going to leave like large areas of them black on the finished mini. So all the clothes, I was going to leave black on the finished mini, or hit them with a very basic dry brush. And we'll talk about dry brushing in a little bit. So I've undercoated the mini.
The undercoat primer, sorry, that's the one that you spray on, right? You like line them
That's
all
the
up,
one that you
blue
spray on.
tack them. Just because you guys haven't seen that, so it's like getting a board, blue tacking it to the base, going
Well, actually,
outside, spray paint, because that's the bit you're not gonna see. Oh,
I
this.
thought this was a rip-off when I first saw it on the store, but I got to use one, and then I decided, no, I have to buy this. So this is a spray gun. You use the rubber bands there to attach your minis to the arm itself, and then you can hold it at a distance and use it to spray the minis. And this is better than just blue
How
tacking
much
stuff to the
was
back of a
this?
box lid.
This is where all of Monk's money goes.
I don't know. I think that was $15 or
15?
something.
Okay, that's really good. Okay. I was expecting something ridiculous. 15 is actually really worth it.
You can look on the Warhammer site. I don't know off the top of my head. It might have been more.
There you go, Silver. I magnetize all my bases, so I use a metal tray. That makes sense.
There you go. And here's something that most Tau players will think I'm crazy for. I don't magnetize minis. I know it's probably best for storage and handling and moving them around, and especially with Tau, how often the meta changes and we want to change out the weapons on our mechs. But I'm not too fussed about that kind of stuff. I just play by rule of cool. I've decided that I want to put the most bitchin' guns on my mechs, and no rule change is going to change how I feel about that. So I actually put them on with blue tack. But it's just
So
no real point.
Wait, how do you? Is there? I was thinking like magnets on the bottom, but you're talking about being able to switch out guns and stuff.
Yeah.
How are you magnetizing?
So what Silverwolf is talking about is gluing a magnet to the bottom. That way, when you've got a metal tray or something, or a carrying case that's got a metal base on it, boom. Yeah,
but you're talking about switching out weapons.
Yeah, something that Tau players do, especially with their battle suits. And I'll get a painted one here as an example. Battle suits can have a number of different weapons applied to them. And there's little holes here where the weapons, and all the weapons will have a bunch of little tabs on them as well. And I found that it's fine just to press them in, and that works most of the time. Who cares? It's going to stay there for display. But those who are taking their Tau to tournaments and that kind of stuff, they'll drill little holes in here and put a magnet in. And then they'll drill a hole on the other side of the mini, on the weapon.
Wow, they're actually using tiny magnets. I was like, is there like magnetized paint or something? But no, it's actually they're attaching tiny magnets.
Yep.
Wow.
And with a lot of the Forge World stuff, they come with magnet holes pre-drilled and that kind of stuff. So, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with magnets. I don't bother. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I've gotten to the point where I haven't, and so I've just stopped.
I'm not sure I want to say the actual price. Oh, okay. Oh, the spray stick? No. I want to know. What is it? Because when he said 15, I was like, really? Is it? Like,
that's what I remember.
I don't know these guys to charge anything under like $40 for a piece of plastic, so I'm stunned. It's got to be closer to 50. Triple that? I fucking knew it.
Oh god, it's 45.
I was like, there's no way. That's why I was so stunned. I was like, wow, really? This is Warhammer we're talking about? Okay. No, it's not. I knew it. There's no way.
I didn't pay that much for it.
$39.95. Oh, look, it's still in the 30s, guys. It's fine.
Because there's no way that Games Workshop made that themselves. That was something that they got a cheap factory in China to throw together in their injection molding machines. One of the things that Games Workshop does do, which I think is pretty cool, is that they're an entirely British company, and all of the minis that they make are entirely made in Britain.
I think, Silver, give it a go. I think as a VIP you can. Mock won't be able to click on them though, because he's using his I will grab it and I'll DM it to you for later, but I'll also open it and describe. Where's Mock? There you are. Color spray stick. Let me look. Australia. Reject cookies. Oh yeah, it's $39.50.
Reject all.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys.
They
If
must have put
you
that price up.
want a really expensive piece of plastic recommended by Mark, there's the link from Silver.
maybe not worth it at $40. I thought that I hadn't spent any more than 20
I mean, look, I
on it.
think
So.
looking back, I just think like if you've already committed to spending money on Warhammer, you're just gonna have to get used to these prices. It's not a cheap hobby,
And that's it.
guys. It's not a cheap hobby.
Warhammer is almost certainly the most expensive brand on the market. So don't feel that you have to have brand loyalty to Citadel. James Workshop will charge as much as he possibly fucking can for his bits of plastic.
It's like I get it when they were tiny because it's like you're doing limited prints, or not limited prints, but you know what I mean, like you're not printing very much and you're trying to ship it around the world and blah blah blah. How big are they now? Like you'd say at this point, and yeah, with 3D printing advancements, like surely they should be a little bit cheaper. But I feel like they're still struggling a little bit with getting popularity as well.
They're doing 3D modeling, but they don't 3D print anything.
Oh, there you go.
This is full injection molded plastic.
That's good, at least, I guess. Like that's
they'll machine out a mold, a cast, and then they'll use that until it wears out, and you can't stick the goddamn miniature together without giant holes all over it. That's happening with the devilfish at the moment. And then they'll recut that die, and then they'll do it again.
Yeah, the prices are just. It's why I never got into it. Like we joke about me. I collected some dwarves for a little bit, but I just was like, I can't spend this. Like I could buy so much pasta for this. Then
and the funny thing is,
but then here's me like spending on Gundam at the moment. But I only ever buy them at events, and at events they're seriously like half the price. I look at the Gundam prices online and I'm like, oh my god, people pay this for the box? That's insane. Like I'm not paying that. I'm only going to events.
Also, don't buy from Games Workshop. Buy from your friendly local gaming store. They will have a discount that they can apply to their.
Really? You'd think it would be more expensive. Yeah. Wow.
Nope. No, it's actually less expensive at a friendly local gaming store because Games Workshop wants to encourage them, wants to
That's really
give them
cool.
a reason to stock their goods. So it becomes they've got a decent reseller model.
That's really cool. That's actually really cool.
So you can get things that are not brand new up to like 20% off and that kind of stuff.
I admire them for that. It feels like a backwards model for a chain usually, but I admire them for that. That's really cool.
Well, Games Workshop has always claimed that they're not a tabletop gaming company. They're not a retail chain. They are a plastic printer. And that's what they do. That's their business model. All right, almost done on this guy. Then we'll switch away from base coating and we'll talk about some other different paints that we can use.
I think we're the only Sydney siders in here, Silver. I have to say, I think yeah, we don't get many Australians in here really. They're usually streaming at the same time. That's why. 40K has become a lot more popular, especially after the release of Bolt Gun and Space Marine 2. Yeah. This is the thing. I really love the franchise and I love the story, but I don't think I'd ever do the miniatures. Which is so funny how I'm the opposite with Gunpla at the moment. I love the miniatures and I know nothing about the world or anything. I'm completely the opposite. It's so weird.
I always maintain that 40K is not really a universe. It's just an amalgamation of everything that's fucking sick in sci-fi and fantasy since Tolkien released Lord of the Rings. That's it. It's going to include everything. Like, you like Dune, there's Dune in there with a Butlerian jihad. You like Star Wars? Hell, we've got an evil empire. You like Star Trek? Well, okay, maybe not so much Star Trek, but you know, there's so much cool shit in 40K and in Warhammer as well, the fantasy version. But there's so much cool shit there because they've just taken everything that they really like, and thrown it into the one setting. And they've skirted the fringes of copyright law for so long.
Oh my goodness.
The Tau is one of the very few actual original races that they've come up with. Everything else is pretty much either dwarves in space, elves in space. The Necrons are just ancient Egyptian mummies in space, although after their rewrite in 5th ed, they've actually grown up quite a bit.
Okay, do you know any of these stores, Mark? So I was betting on it. The Combat Company, Good Games, or Frontline Hobbies?
I do know Good Games. That's where I got my wet palette from.
There you
I
go.
love them.
1 out of 3 is pretty good. That's actually the reason they renamed a lot of their armies. Sean, my buddy bought
Yes.
5K worth of Pokemon stuff for his birthday. Came back. They wrapped him a thank you card and a box for his support. I bet
Oh,
they
that's nice.
did.
Cute.
Wow.
Yeah, and the skirting of copyright. Like, I don't collect the Imperial Guard anymore, apparently. Apparently, I collect the Astra Militarum because you can't copy Imperial Guard. They were a regiment during Russian Revolutionary times. You can't copyright Space Marine, but you can copyright Adeptus Astartes. Yeah, exactly. That.
Astra
Cool.
Militarum sounds so
Same-
much
same
cooler though
time.
anyway. Like, this is why I was laughing at Koi trying to play Rogue Trader and trying to read out all of the techno babble Latin all the way through 40K. I felt sorry for Koi. I was like, oh my god, there is just so much wanky language with Latin techno babble all the way through it. But it's great. It's so nerdy. It's so good.
That's it. Right. Let's move on to a different painting technique. So that's just base painting. And if you want to get an army onto the tabletop, just for official tournaments to play 40K, you need to have 3 colors and a basing thing applied. And you can do that with spray your primer on, throw some either contrast paint on. And in fact, let's talk about contrast paint right now. Throw some contrast paint on or throw on some base paint. As long as you've got 3 colors on the mini, you're ready to go. If you want a really dirty technique to get a full army on the tabletop real quick, especially if you've got a high number of units, and I'm looking at you, Orcs and Tyranids, because their 2,000 point armies can be upwards of like 150 models. If they're playing the Swarm, you base coat your mini in something mid-tone-ish, like you can do black or you do a dark gray, and then you give them a zenithal, and a zenithal just means going down from the top. You do a zenithal spray of white. That will give you some very basic highlighting already on the miniature, and then you hit them with contrast paints, and that's called slap chop. And slap chop is the easiest way to get an army that looks somewhat good onto the tabletop real quick. Or you do what I do, you undercoat them black, you do your 3 base coat colors on the mini, and Abaddon black counts as a base coat color, so even though I've undercoated it black, it still counts. And then you can push it a little bit further. But if you like painting as a hobby, you can really push it very far. And the reason I say that is because on my minis, on my rank and file minis, I've done base coat color, then I'll throw a shade over it. And a shade is a very thin paint. It's like a contrast paint. It will pull in the recesses. So it gives you a very simple way of bringing out some of that natural 3D detail. And then you give it what we call an area highlight or an edge highlight, which is just a lighter color that you put just around the very edges of panels and that kind of stuff. The reason people like contrast paints, and this is, I'm using Space Wolf's Gray here, and I don't think I've hooked that up enough. Contrast paints is because they can do that in one go. You've got your base coat color, that's a lighter color. And then with the contrast paint on it, it will pull in the cracks. It will leave the raised areas a light color. And you'll see with the contrast paint, I'm not bothering to thin this because it's already a contrast medium. And then you put it on the Mini and it just gives you instant shading and instant highlights because the base coat color being very light, this is supposed to be like a mid-tone gray, but with all the black on the miniature, it looks almost white. And you just want to focus with contrast paints because they're so runny. You just want to make certain that there's enough on the Mini to really pull in those cracks. But you want to make certain that it's evenly spread across one area before you move on to the other. And what I'm using as a brush here is what Citadel calls a shade brush. Shade brushes, they have lots of longer bristles, so they can hold a lot more paint on the brush. And that's super useful for this kind of application because contrast paints are very runny. They're just like another shade, a wash or an actual shade consistency
Camera.
paint.
Oh, it stopped. It was starting to tip over. I was like, no.
What was tipping over there?
The camera moved, but it's not too bad.
Oh God.
It's okay where it is, I guess, but just like you're gonna have to move the light a little bit now. Thank you for Look Blaze. Hello.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I love how I'm saying
I'm gonna move
Moxon
that.
speaking images. Thank you. I also based it off of a Disney character, if you recognize it.
Is that better? So Jean, you were saying, should you get gloves? Should you? Okay, so when you're painting minis, you don't need to worry too much. I mean, you don't want to put too much of the paint on your skin because there is a mild, what do they call it? It's sort of like an antibiogenic or whatever it's called on the paint, in the paint itself. That's just so that they stay fresh and you don't get mold growing in them and that kind of stuff. You only want to use a mask when you're aerosolizing anything. So when you're using a spray or when you're using an airbrush like Koi uses. I do put gloves on. I've just got a whole bunch of latex-free gloves that I use for cooking. I'll throw a pair of them on when it comes time to spray paint, just so I don't accidentally coat my entire hand with acetone, because that's not really something that you want to be doing. But these paints are non-toxic. I wouldn't go around drinking them. But,
Oh,
you know, shouldn't be too much of a problem.
The shading gets me with this because you're just painting over it, which blows my mind because I always think of it because I come from like actual like acrylic painting and oil painting and the way you do shading and lighting is like you don't just paint over the entire thing and find the cracks. So for me this is like mind-boggling that you're just painting over the entire thing and it's pooling in some way and that's how you do shading.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy to me. I'd be so scared of that.
And that's what we call inks or washes or shades, or in this case, contrasts.
Yeah.
The reason I have a problem with contrast is because it ends up, if you're not careful, and if you use too much or if you use too little, it will end up looking splotchy and patchy. So that's why I tend to reserve it for when I'm going to be doing cloth or flesh, because those kind of things, having small variations in color, that's not a problem. Like no one's one perfect color their entire body.
Especially if you've
But when it
got
comes to armor,
rosacea.
yeah. But when it comes to armor, I prefer to use different techniques because that
Using shade?
leans more into the nature of that material.
Finally, she's useful.
Poor shade.
You poor Shade, she's fine. Everyone
You're
thinks
throwing
she's
so much
like
shade
this.
on her.
Well, she's used to it. Everyone thinks she's like so innocent and sweet, and then she comes in here and opens her mouth, and everyone's like, "Oh, never mind."
Oh god, she's a Brummy.
The finally was
And
so
something that,
mean. Finally, finale. What? Comes in and tells someone to shut up. Usually, we tell her to shut up.
okay, one problem that you find with shades is and contrast paints is because they've got a higher
Oh my god.
surface
Shut
viscosity,
up.
like a lower surface viscosity, and they're a lot more
Shut up,
runny.
you should.
It takes them quite a while to dry. So I won't be able to do anything on the skin tones of this miniature until probably about 6 to 8 hours later. So while they're an incredibly
Get the
fast way to
hairdryer
get,
out.
yeah, well, that will cause it to
I
move
know it's
away
bad.
from where you're hitting with it. Yeah.
Don't do it. I used to do it with my paintings.
So
I used to get really like, what's the word? Impatient.
So while contrast paints are fantastic for giving you that quick shading, just be aware that that will lock you into that step for a while. And again, like I was saying, with your base paints, don't be afraid to give it 2 thin coats, but do make certain that you've got an even application of the paint before you move on to your second coat. Because otherwise, putting splotchy on splotchy doesn't always even out very well. So it's nice to try and get it nice and even on everything. And there we go. I'll put that away soon, but I don't know if you can see that. Can we see? Oh, yeah. We decided that it was actually probably okay to. Oh, come on, Citadel. God, your pots are so bad.
I could come in, to be fair, and give you my phone as a light. You can hold it. Oh, okay, yeah. It's not bad, actually.
Does that work?
Yeah, it's not bad.
And there you can see already from that white and the under the shirt and the panels here are the same, that same gray, mid-tone gray. And then it with that contrast paint on, it makes it it's already pulled in the mouth, pulled in the eyes, pulled in that nasal slit that they have up on their forehead. And it gives you a really good easy way to pull out all those highlights.
Couple of
So that's
questions.
contrast paint.
Is it better to
Yeah.
use spray paint for setting an even base?
Yes. You can get brush on primer. The problem that I have with brush on primer is that you end up with brush strokes. The spray paint will give you a very good finish as long as you do it at the right time. There is a picture that I shared on the server of my broadside battle suits, and you can see on this arm here and on these guns here, I spray painted them when it was a little bit humid. You can get a really good close up of this on the server if you join and look in the minis and models. It was about 3 months ago, I think I shared that picture. If you spray paint when it's humid, if you spray paint when it's too hot, and if you spray paint when it's too cold, the paint will kind of congeal in between the nozzle and the miniature. And it can give you a rough, pebbly finish. So I recommend spray painting as a way to do your priming, but I have to caution you that you need to do it at the right time. In Australia, I'm pretty lucky. Don't do it when it's raining outside. Don't do it when it's too windy. But yeah, it's the spray primers, the rattle cans are just the easiest way to get a base paint on. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, so we're it being regular. We've chatted a lot about mock being more regular, but there's kind of a whole bunch of reasons. Like, A, unless he's doing miniatures, we're in the same room, so it's really difficult. B, um He's a little bit like Coy, but in the other way of like, when he's ready, he's ready. His time is his time, and he's quite mood based. So I don't want to lock him into anything either. But whether we continue to do stuff around miniatures is kind of a maybe, because I've unexpectedly gotten into miniatures as well, but the other side with Gunpla. So it's quite funny that we've got someone into Gunpla and 40k here. I don't know is the answer at the moment, because at the moment I have one day off a week streaming and then a second day every fortnight. So that fortnight there is technically a spot, but the idea of me potentially working full time soon and streaming 6 days a week is a lot. So it's one of those things of, I'm aware of it. Definitely if there's interest, but we're just trying to figure out how to work with the schedule at the moment, because we have a lot. It's one of those things of eventually we might have to like combine 2 people into one day or something, like start trying to combine segments a little bit. Like we have Wolfie and Shade on one day, we might have to put like someone and someone on another day. So we'll see. Is the answer. Aware of it. Yeah, like I'm aware of it. It's just like there's already 7 of us.
There's already 7 there's already 7 co-hosts, and there's only 7 days in the week, so
Yeah. So it's a lot. So it'll be one of those things of, I would it's more likely I will just run a miniatures stream every now and again, and if Mock's available and feels like it means he's not locked in, but if he wants to do something occasionally he can, because we've introduced it now. So it's just one of those things that
and
it just might not be as timetabled.
and we'll look at a better camera setup, because I'd really like to show you some more details on these minis, because you lose a lot of them. Like, I can't even show you. This is the best lens that I've ever painted,
Yeah.
but you're not going to be able to see much of it because
It's probably like,
it's pretty far away.
my webcam is probably, we have to get you an actual webcam and you plug it into. There is a laptop sitting next to him. It's just not the best laptop in the world. So we're kind of like half updating on our side as well. Like, it took me a long time. The only reason you got a webcam out of me that was better, because usually I'd fundraise through you guys, was because I needed it for work so I could put it on my business. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. But my webcam was dying and all my clients are like, why do you look like you're in the Matrix? And I was like, I need to spend on a webcam. But we'll see, because maybe I can give you my webcam next time and you can plug it into the
That could
laptop.
work.
Yeah, and we'll see if we can connect with the laptop. So why potato vision?
So next, why potato vision? Because potato vision. So next technique that I want to talk about, we've talked about a quick way to get shades on with contrast paint and with actual shades, and I'll show you a bit more of the difference about them in a bit when the shade brush is dried. But one of the quick ways to get highlights on without going through the problem with edge highlights and fine detail work and that kind of stuff. So another easy way to bang out stuff for an army, or to do the bits of the miniature that you don't want people to focus on. So for the undersuits of these Tau Pathfinders or my Tau Warriors, or where it's appropriate for the texture, one of the ways, and it seems counterintuitive when I first talk about it, but have a look at the results and you'll see how useful it can be, is dry brushing. So with dry brushing, what you want to do is you want to get a paintbrush and you want to get it covered in paint, and then you want to get rid of that paint.
I mean, it
And
could be fun though, Bailey.
I use just a piece of paper towel for this. If I'm going for a really, really, really fine dry brush, I'll use something like this plate that just has the tiniest bit of texture on it. But essentially what you're doing is, when you get rid of paint on the brush just by brushing it off, you'll get rid of the paint on the front end of the bristles, but you won't get rid of the paint further up in the bristles. And that way, when you brush it over the miniature with that little bit of paint further up on the bristles, the ends of the bristles will go onto the miniature itself and not leave any paint there. But any detail that's on the miniature will hit the paint that's further up in the bristles, and you'll only hit the raised parts of the miniature with paint. So like I said, dry brushing sounds counterintuitive, but it's a really quick way to just get a bit of paint on the highlights only. I'm just going to load up a little bit of this light gray that we've been using. And I'm going to hit this with a black wash later, so I don't worry about it too much if it looks too light gray. And I'm going to paint the top of this staff, which if we have a look at the box art, they've painted to look like some kind of obsidian or stone. And I don't really feel like doing a crazy amount of edge highlighting and super fine detail and that kind of stuff on this mini. Although it is going to be a centerpiece mini, I want to put more effort into the cloak because I like painting cloaks. I don't want to put as much effort into the staff. So for this, I'm just going to brush off most of that paint off a dry brush. And this is a specific type of brush that Citadel sells called a dry brush. And it's got lots sturdier bristles, so it can stand up to the kind of abuse that you're going to give it.
Spartan's got a question. Would bolters work in our
Yes.
world? It sparked up yesterday while I were playing Darktide on the Sister of Battle style character I play for Zealot. I was thinking about it, considering the kick from a 50 cal is considerable, but bolters, they fire full auto, even a Star Militarum. Use them without power armor at that.
Two things. The Godwin pattern bolter that Sisters use is not the full strength bolter that Space Marines use. And that's the same for anything that Inquisitors or Imperial Guard use. So they're not the full 50 cal bolter that Space Marines have. The second thing is that bolters, while they're 50 cal, are not full 50 cal rounds. They're gyrojet rounds. So what that means is that they have propellant inside them. Bolt guns will have a little bit of an underpowered charge to help accelerate the bolt out of the rifle. But then once it's outside the rifle, that rocket propellant will kick in. So a bolter is essentially a small RPG.
He's smart. It's true. I need to get dumber partners. They make me look too dumb.
Okay, we'll do that a little bit more. I've let the paint dry on the brush while I was talking a little bit too much, so I didn't get as much of a highlight as I
Wow, I
wanted
was
there.
insulting myself. Don't go wow at me. Wow.
So one of the reasons why people don't always use
I was
dry brushing for everything.
complimenting. Oh my god, John, it was the opposite. It was the opposite. I was saying that they're so smart that they make me look dumb. My god.
So I've made it sound like a miracle technique. And I'm sort of like, ooh, dry brushing, it's amazing. It can pick out the highlighting and that kind of stuff. And one of the reasons people don't use it for everything is because sometimes it gives you a bit of an interesting finish. You'll see that a little bit here. You'll see that it's picked out the edges in that nice white. I don't know if you can still see that. Is that good for the... No, I need to move that across. It's picked out those details on the edge in a nice white, but it's given a dusty finish to the rest of the flat areas. And so that kind of dusty finish gives dry brushing a bit of a bad rap amongst really high-tech mini painters because, it doesn't look that great across an entire mini. But the reason I'm doing it here on a mini that I'm calling a centerpiece mini for my army is because this is supposed to be stone anyway. So it doesn't matter if the stone looks a little bit dusty. And that's the same thing for cloth. It doesn't matter if cloth looks a little bit dusty because that means that it just makes the fabric look like it's fabric, essentially. You could go in with a fine detail brush and put like little cross hatching on all of your fabric and that kind of stuff, but you don't need to. Dry brushing gives you an excellent alternative to that.
Don't go and try. Very true. Hey, look, sometimes it's enjoyable as well, John. Just saying. Just don't rip anything.
All right, I must have touched that.
Yes, but too. Oh my god. God damn it.
Oh,
I don't know how to
I just
pronounce
bumped the
that, by
camera.
the way. Chancla? Chancla? I keep seeing it. Well, Spanish people keep saying
Uh,
it, and I'm like,
Chancellor?
I don't know. I just know it's the shoe. It's like the
Huh?
sandal thing that they throw at
Yeah,
people.
it's the sandal thing.
Is it? How do you say it? I'm too white. Chancla? Chancla?
I always thought it was Chancellor, but
Is
I
it
obviously
Chancel?
no, I like to put
Chancellor?
extra
No,
I
there's
like to
another
put
way.
extra vowels in things that don't need them.
You had it right the first time. Chancla.
Oh,
Really?
it is Chancellor? Okay, there we go.
Chancellor? Chancla. Chan is in childs and Kla is in clan. Chancla. Okay, it is literally how it looks. Okay, I've been too scared to say it because I'm like, I'm going to insult all your ancestors and all your cows and
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
dishonor on your cow.
All right, and now that the brush is a little dry after the contrast paint, let's talk about shade. And shades are like contrast paints, but they're an even thinner consistency. And what that means is you can use them in two styles. You can use them as a panel liner or you can use them as a wash. And I'm going to use them as both on this particular mini. So the shirt here is actually a separate piece of fabric from these panels that are on the skirt underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash the entire shirt up at the top. And then I'm going to only panel line the very edges, the raised edges of these skirts with this Drakenhof nightshade. And it's like a purple wash. And what that is going to do is the top is going to look a lot darker than the rest of the mini. I'm just going to quickly pop that shade over everything here.
The holy cow.
And when you just wash it over everything like this, it's called a wash. And when you only use a very small brush and apply it just to the edges of things, it's called panel lining. Essentially, you're lining the edges of the panels. The one problem that you have with shades is that it's hard to clean them up afterwards. They will give, and again, this is why I'm reserving it for cloth, they will give a little bit, sometimes a little bit of a blotchy texture. So you just need to be super careful as you apply it to make certain that there are no brush streaks on the mini itself. Not happy with that. There's a little bit too much pooling in this corner. I want it to pool in the recesses, but not too much. Because for the shirt, I want it to look darker. All right, cool. That looks good. And then I'm going to get a very small fine detail brush. I'm just going to line those panels underneath. There's my small layer brush.
Maybe you already mentioned this, but do you have a special brush?
I kind of do. I really like this brush that I'm using right now, the small layer brush from Citadel. I think it's really good. But I bought this Citadel standard brush, and because the brushes are made with horsehair, they're actually made with sable. So, like really expensive brushes are made with sable. These 40K brushes are no different. That's why I don't like the starter brush, it's synthetic. But these brushes are made with horsehair, so there's a lot of variation in them. And sometimes it takes a while to break in the brushes. So that Citadel standard brush that I pulled out just before, I've had since about 2005. No, it was early 2000s. And that is a brush that I used to paint most of my Tau army with. It was, I got the luck of the draw. The bristles were really nice. They broke in really well. I used a little bit of IPA, isopropyl alcohol, not India Pale Ale. A little bit of IPA to clean it out when I got too much paint under the ferrule one time, and that caused the bristles to really soften nicely. And it became the easiest brush for me to work with. I really liked it, and it became my favorite brush until I bought this small layer brush from Citadel. And so far, I haven't had any flyaways or anything like that. And I think, touch wood, I may have lucked out again and gotten another really amazing brush from Citadel. You'll see some professional painters will actually send brushes back if they've paid enough money for it and they've gone luck of the draw and they don't like what they've gotten. They'll go, no, this has got too many flyaways, or the bristles on this are, they bend, they've got bends in them, or it's too much stuff is coming out of the ferrule. So I'm not that kind of prima donna. I kind of take it as luck of the draw. But when you're spending, and for some of the artificer brushes from Citadel, when you're spending 50 or 60 bucks on a brush, you want to get a decent brush. So what I'm doing here is I'm only going for the very edges of these panels. And the reason I'm doing that is because they're actually slightly raised, as if it's got a hem that's been sewn back on itself. But I'm also going for the very deepest folds as well. And that just gives you a really good sense of depth on the panel. And before I do the last one, I'll hold this up to the camera, see if people can get a good look and see how this panel lining has come together.
Oh, they're inexpensive here. €7 for the small layer brush. Huh. Gee, half surprises me.
God, you're getting it cheap at €7.
Yeah.
We have to pay the Australia tax. I think this one was 25, 30 bucks.
Australia tax is so right. Right. Up a few legs. I haven't done that yet.
Coolio. I don't know if that's in shot.
Nah. Pull towards you?
Ah.
Oh, that way? Yeah. Nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
so you'll see on the panels down at the bottom there and the shirt up at the top, the shirt's got a lot darker because I've washed all over it. And that's going to provide a nice gradient between the flesh down to the shirt and then the panels. Even though this is violet, not blue, it's still kind of like within that same kind of hue area. And then you'll see on the very bottom, you've got what looks like white here. I'm going to take it further with some ultramarine gray layer, and I'll just pull out the highlights on this area. But you've got, but that little bit of shade around the edges, that panel line around the edges, and just around the edges of this symbol here, really pull out a lot of the detail. And you'll see compared to just that big white hip there that I haven't shaded yet. I don't know if you actually can see that on stream, but it adds a lot of depth and detail. And I really like shade paints for that exact reason. But this brush is feeling claggy.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, yeah, Belly, this is the weird one. Yeah, no, this is the weird one. So every time you see someone in kanji or whatever, you have to copy paste the actual script. You not the English bit. It's really weird, and I do not understand how Japanese streamers deal with it. So it's like you actually have to go shout out and then only copy like the I'm trying to oban not this yeah. No, not the English. Not the English. That's what I was saying. It's really weird. Oh, so it's
Often find people saying not English.
only the oban this channel, like only that bit. Yeah. 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 So let me know if you guys are on mobile because I'm happy to handle that one, but it's really fucked up. I don't know why. That's what I did in the first one. Oh, you added it. So without the at, so just like exclamation mark shout out and then just that, and it should work. Nope, you did the English. Hang on. Good. Hello, how are you?
That's brilliant.
Oh, it worked. Oh, you actually got the English to work. Crazy. Because usually, sorry, this is what I have to do. Oh, it's not working anymore. It switched. It switched on me. The fuck? Oh, bro. Okay, so it looks like they've tried to fix it for English. Yeah. They've changed it again. Hi, Black Sword. A bit weird for you to walk in on. Whenever our Japanese friends join us, we're always like, how do we shout out your name? Nothing seems to work. Okay, they've changed it. My mistake, Belly. I used to always have to copy paste that way. Doing all right. Working on my dreadnought for my Space Marines. Nice. Working bee. I like that.
There you go. Share pictures.
Oh yeah, if you want to join our Discord, no pressure at all. Let us know. But we have a little channel where we share and nerd out. So you can type down instead of copy pasting that mobile. Can't it do easily? Yeah, it annoys me because I can't just go because we always go exclamation mark shout out at and then like you can type the first letter. If you have a Japanese keyboard, it's a little easier. So Belly and I might have some luck. It can't. It just doesn't do it. I've just been like completely confused. I need to sit in one of the Japanese streamers chats and just watch and be like, how are you guys shouting out? Because and I think it's because they're using the Twitch shout out. I think anything to do with the bots just don't handle it. I don't know. But they've changed it again on me, which is really funny. They keep changing how it's done. Can't join Discord, yeah, on the work computer. No pressure at all, like I said. It's only because Mock mentioned it, so I was like, oh, just so you know, there is a Discord. But happy to have
So if you can join the Discord, please do, and then share pictures of what you're working on because I'd love to see it. And I'll do a close up of this later as well. Coolio. So that's contrast paints. We talked about base paints. We talked about dry brushing. We talked about shades. I'm going to have to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to show you some actual goddamn highlights.
Unfortunately, you won't be able to post links in here. That's why Mock mentioned it, because he knew about it. Mock is a guest host today, so he knows that we can post in Discord. It's because we don't allow link posts in here. We've had some funky links posted in chat sometimes, so we switched it off. Unfortunately, they ruined it for all of us. I think only for English. I think those non-Latin languages have their own. Oh, hang on, wait. And Twitch uses English version. Yeah, they've changed it. So I used to try do that and it didn't work. And then maybe, or am I being dumb? Maybe it is English and I've forgotten. Maybe I've forgotten. It's been a while since I've seen Yura. All I know is that it's not as simple as going at and the name. And I don't understand why. Why can't I just go at and then the name? So mean. Oops, I almost just posted his name instead of lurking to someone's chat. Would have been really random. Hello. It's alright. It's not as bad as me going into people's chat and typing raid. That's awkward. Like super awkward and blonde. No, don't ban me. Because everyone needs to bully you. I know. Why, Stella, why? I could just DM the image if that's okay on Insta. I don't. I don't accept DMs. I'll be really honest. Belly's like, yeah, DM it. Belly, I don't. Oh, to me. Okay, to Belly. There you go. All right. Belly will take it apparently. We have Vanda Bully. You're an easy target. I've been told this means people like me. I'm gonna keep believing that. I'm gonna keep believing it. I've been good today. I've only got 4
Righto.
likes. I can
So,
send link chat.
layer
Oh,
paint.
there we go. That works. There you go, Black Sword. If you on Twitch send it to the mod Belly, they'll post it for you. They can post links.
Oh, it's too wet.
Yes, we totally like you. Ironically. Why is it so sarcastic? No. I actually realized because they used to bully her. Oh my god. So what are we doing now?
Right, highlights.
Highlights.
We're going
Okay.
to do some highlights.
Nice.
And one of the decisions I made when I first started the Tau Army is that because their armor is described as like nanocrystalline special armor, blah, 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 kind of like the Space Marines, the special ceramite armor, I wanted it to look a little bit different. So one of the things that I decided was I was going to do super fine, super sharp, super different edge highlights. An edge highlight just means that you're highlighting the edge of the piece. But that means that I'm going for a very light gray compared to my base coat. You wouldn't normally go this different when you're doing a highlight between
Leaf.
between two colors, but it gives the impression on these minis that the armor is refracting a lot more at the edges, so it makes it look a lot more high tech, I feel. That's just how I feel.
Yes,
Okay, that's much better
happy
consistency.
birthday, everyone. That's not. Yeah, they have very cute hands. Mock, you have cute hands.
There you go. I told you I needed to trim my nails.
No, they're cute.
Glad that I trimmed my nails.
No.
They're only cute because I trimmed my nails.
This is my partner, Mock Leaf, who is, you hear in the background sometimes sneezing loudly. That's Mock. That's how I describe him. Every time you hear someone scream loudly and I squeal, it's Mock. Every time
So what I'm
someone
gonna
feeds me and I'm happy, it's Mock.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mooks.
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 Mokes.
So what I'm going to do here, a little trick. When you've got, and all of mini painting, and this is how it's different from painting on a canvas, is you're painting a 3D model, which means that you can let the model do a lot of the work for you. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have my brush edge on, and just with the edge of the point, not the very point itself, but with the edge of the point, I'm just going to drag that very gently down the very edge of this shoulder pad. And that's a quick and nasty way to get your edge highlights on. Oh, and for any 40K fans playing along at home, this is Fenrisian Grey.
Fenrisian.
So this, yeah, as in from Fenris, the planet of the Space Wolves. You'll notice that I'm using a lot of Space Wolf colors on my towel. That's just because Space Wolves are this kind of blue-gray. So it's easiest to use their color palette for these kind of colors. All of 40K has descriptive names for the colors on their palettes. Like they can't call it blue-gray for copyright reasons, but also for fun, evocative reasons. So they call it something like Fenrisian Grey or Runefang Steel. Also be aware when you're painting a mini that it's a 3D surface. I've just hit the backpack there because I was following the edge of this. So what I'm going to do, and this is a little trick that I picked up that I really like.
First, welcome
Sorry.
back. It's good to see you again.
I'm going to flush my brush. I'm going to leave it with a lot of water on it, and I'm going to quickly hit that area that I made the mistake on with water. So that's now been flushed with water. I'm just going to take a toothpick. I'm going to gently abrade that off. And this is something you can do when the paint is still very fresh and it's properly thinned. And it means that you're not going to need to come back later with your Fang Grey and fix up that area. And that just means that I've managed to pull off that mistake that I made, is now cleaned off the mini.
Huh.
That's not something that's going to work if your paint has dried for, even more than 30 seconds. But if you've made a mistake and you're happy to dump that load of paint that you've got on your bristles, you can quickly flush the area and you can quickly rinse that area with a bit of water. And that gives you a real easy way of cleaning up your mistakes so you don't need to come back later. Right, so one of the things that we've done this edge highlight, but now we've got these panel edges that we need to highlight. And you can kind of do the same thing here with a point that I was talking about. You can just use the point and very gently skim that along the edge there and use the mini itself to help guide where that highlight is going to go. And all I'm doing is pulling the brush down towards me, because that way you've got the best control of the bristles and they're not going to fly everywhere.
Well, say first, thank you for continuing to come back and support us. I really appreciate it. It's been nice meeting you. I've dropped you a follow. I will
And
try
you'll just
support.
see, oh, sorry. And you'll just see around that panel there, we've got that very stark highlight. That's exactly what I want to make that material look alien and high tech. If you were doing anything else, like if you were trying to do some kind of cloth or anything along those lines, you would do instead an area highlight. And I'll just pull out the Ethereal's base here and a little bit of Blood Angel's red,
Thank you for the
Mephiston
lurk,
red, that's what they call
UL.
it now.
Can we please get a shout out for UL? Yeah, Belly is looking black sword. I can see in the mod chat they're trying to find it.
And for area highlights, it's good to have your paint a little bit thinner. Some people say the consistency of skim milk is what they like, because you want the paint to be able to flow off the brush, but not so much that it flows everywhere. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to think about the material that I'm painting, and I'm going to use that to guide me on how big a highlight I'm going to do. And what I mean by that is how much of this base coat color that I've got here am I going to leave? And how much am I going to cover in the highlight color? And for this one, I'm going to cover pretty much all of it in this highlight color and just leave that base coat color in the recesses. And that's what we call an area highlight instead of an edge highlight. And you'll find for this cloak, I'm going to do this several times with several different colors.
Here we go. Black Sword has posted. It's actually really amazing detail. You're very good. They've done a Redemptor
I will check
Dreadnought.
that. Oh, Redemptors.
I will send you the link to your DMs to look after this. Unfortunately, oh no, you can you look on the laptop? Maybe
No,
not.
I won't be able to.
Yeah, so Mark won't be able to look at it until afterwards, but I have sent him the link. Thank you for sharing that. It's really cool. The purple glow's badass, right? Like, that's actually really well done.
Has he done some
On the
OSL, object source lighting?
yeah, maybe on the gun itself, they've done some really cool with like the way they've left the black and then the white with the purple. You're gonna have to see it. It's very well done.
Yep.
It looks
Good.
neon.
Good object source lighting is amazing. And I have not talked about object source lighting, and I've not talked about non-metallic metals or anything like that. Like there are so many amazing advanced techniques that you can get into when you get deeper into this hobby that just make your models really pop.
I love red paint. I don't know why.
There's a good reason for that, actually, and a good chemistry reason for that.
Blood.
No, it's because red paint is easiest to make. Cadmium and cinnabar were two readily accessible metals during the Iron Age and then later into the Renaissance that were fairly easy to access and fairly easy to turn into paints and dyes. So red was a color that we could make easily, unlike purple, say, which required crushing up however many seashells.
Yeah.
And unlike yellows, which even back in the 90s when I was first starting painting, everyone was sort of like, don't play the Imperial Fists. You'll be painting yellow, and that fucking sucks. Because even back then, yellow wasn't getting good coverage. So red is a paint that's easy to make a nice, strong color for.
Came for the painting, stayed for the education. Hey, I keep saying maybe we should add an educational tab in here. Like, I feel like we're very educational. So it's like, I've seen some of those advanced techniques for textures and digital modeling, especially in Anthem, that has complex texture and color system. And Warframe's own system, they added of that a few years back. Hello, Koi. I'd be taking my cut for the payment of us selling Barely. But Leaf has asked, if Barely got kidnapped by aliens, would you save Barely? I'm like, is it really obvious how? Like, I feel like if someone told me Barely was kidnapped by aliens, I don't think I know where to start. So the intent
would there be a
there.
long way to walk?
Yeah, like where am I going? Like, do I flag them down? Like, I don't know where they've gone. Like, the intent is there. I'd love to save him, but I think he's fucked. Like, I don't know how to I don't know how to solve this issue, you know. And then it's like,
will it require someone reciting multiple steps of instructions to me?
Yeah.
While I disassociate and
Yeah.
nod along?
And this is presuming that someone has given me damning evidence that is like, oh shit, he really did get stolen by aliens. And then I might have to have a miniature breakdown first around the fact that aliens
I thought that was a given.
Are around. And we just presuming that this is just an everyday thing. People just get stolen by aliens.
Hey mom, there's something in the bathroom.
You need to find a new
Hope
mod.
it's not those creatures
That's
from
annoying.
above.
Yeah, I think we just need to find a new mod. I don't think I know where to start. I'll be really honest. Like maybe I'm useless compared to those other alien hunters out there, but I don't think I know what to do. I'll be sad. I'll be really sad.
Oh yeah. For like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do. Someone like legit was like, Belly's been stolen by aliens and needs your help. I'll be like, okay, like, it's like, okay, Chat GPT. My moderator has, you know what? We're gonna do it. Fuck it. I'm gonna ask Chat GPT what we do. Let's do it. I'm gonna ask. Okay. My Twitch moderator. No, stay logged out. Thank you. Please don't track me doing this bullshit. Can you stop, please? Okay, stay logged out. My Twitch moderator, Belly, has been stolen by aliens. Extraterrestrials. Otherwise, they're going to be like thinking, you know, like American style, what they call aliens. Extraterrestrials. Terrestrial aliens. Please outline a plan to save my moderator. Okay, here we go. We must act swiftly and strategically. Here's an alien moderator retrieval plan, AMPR, to rescue your Twitch moderator Belly from extraterrestrial captures. Okay. Phase 1, intel gathering. Determine abduction details, time and date of abduction. When was Belly last seen? Last known transmission. What was Belly's last Twitch chat message? Evidence of alien interference. Glitch stream, lights in the sky, missing VOD, alien identifications, species profile. Are we dealing with greys, reptilians, or something more like the Bantrax of Sector Z9? Technology used. Beam up tractor tech, wormhole snatch, motive, entertainment, moderator experimentation, Twitch channel
Wormhole snatch
infiltration.
was my nickname in high school.
Oh my god, there's so many phases.
Sorry.
Phase 2, form a rescue team. They've like given me how to do it. Recruit aliens. Koi's shutting me up. He's played my. Let me do this. Let me do this, Koi.
We need to say barely, Koi.
Yeah. Okay, I will. Here we go. Here we go. I have. It's a lot. It's a lot. I like how at the end it even tells me. I like the little advice. We don't do AI slop here. We do regular fox slop. But I like how at the end it says revoke mod privileges temporarily. Send them a Twitch terms of service PDF to read.
That's the most important part. Hey aliens, I know you kidnapped my mod. Here's the duties that you will need to take up
That's amazing.
in his place.
Monitor for intergalactic propaganda in chat. Okay, there we go. I've closed it. Leaf,
It's true.
I think I've got a plan now. Yes, we're going after Bailey. We're going
There's
after
only one
Bailey.
possible reason for someone to abduct
Have an
Bailey, and that's to
AMRP.
spread propaganda
Yeah.
in Minx's chat.
Yep. I have an AMRP and we're all good. I love this scenario. Yeah, I have to admit, like, ChatGPT does continue to impress me. AI does continue. I'm like, this is so dumb. Okay, here we go. And then I'm like, hey, this is actually like, this is pretty legit. Oh my god, limited time. I survived the abduction emote. It's giving me ideas how to also, oh my god, honor their return.
How to monetize it.
Yeah, how to monetize
God.
it. Oh my god.
Okay, so this is what I call we're in ads. Okay.
Oh, that's fine. They should just subscribe if they want to hear more.
They should subscribe.
Yeah, off you go.
Congratulations, everyone who's hearing this who's subscribed.
You
Um,
win.
You win. So this is what I call an area highlight. And that by that, it just means that I'm doing a larger area. I'm not just hitting the edges of this cloak because there's a lot of detail and because it's a soft material like cloth, you have a lot softer gradient between your shades and your highlights. So I'm going to, for this cloak, you could leave it here and it would look perfectly fine on the battlefield, but I'm going to continue, because this is a centerpiece model, to hit this with successive highlights of brighter and brighter colors until right at the end, I'm just going to be hitting the very ridges and the very edges of the cloak with a yellow. So I'm going to go this red and then push it up through an orange and then push it up through a yellow and just have it right at the edges, a very bright yellow. And that will make it look as if it's a soft material and it's catching the light in the way that a soft material normally would. Whereas with this granite up on the top of the staff here, I'm probably going to leave that pretty close to what it is, where it's just a very sharp edge difference right at the edge. And it's not going to be too much. Like I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a little bit of weathering on the center of the piece, but it's going to mostly be that very sharp at the edge color. And that's going to make it look like something that's very hard, because hard things catch the light only towards their edges, whereas soft things catch the light more gently throughout all of them, all of the material.
Hello.
And that's how we're going to differentiate between the model and make it look a lot more realistic. Plus, I love painting cloaks and I love doing color gradients. So that's the fun part of this miniature for me. So that has been a crash course on a couple of the different painting techniques you can use to paint your miniatures and make them look really serviceable, even as a first timer. But I cannot stress enough that the only way to get good at painting is to just give it a go. If you think that you might like painting as a hobby, and it doesn't have to be as expensive as 40K,
Like a
you can find perfectly serviceable alternatives. Just pick up a mini. Get someone to 3D print a mini for you or 3D print a mini. Go ham, buy some paints, just some basic acrylic water-based paints from your art store. Pick up a basic brush from your art store. It can be synthetic bristles for your first brush. Or you can wander into your local friendly neighborhood gaming store, FLGS, Friendly Local Gaming Shop. Ask to paint a mini. They will be excited. Just so you've never painted a mini before, they will love to get a mini out for you. They've usually got open paints that you can use with a painting table. And then there you go.
I don't know, I'll check. Muck, are
Give
we
me first mini.
friends?
Look, I love you, but I don't like you.
That's what my mum
Sorry,
said to me too.
That's what your mum said to you.
God damn it. Why is this a reoccurring theme in my life?
Which is why I said it.
This is abuse.
There we go. I am going to probably call it there for actual painting, but if people have questions in the chat, I'm perfectly happy to.
I know, I've got another 2 hours.
Chat for a little bit more.
Although I don't know when Quail will appear. So let me know if you want me to. You were like, I could paint for hours. I love how he's like, nah, 2 hours done.
I painted for 2 hours. I can continue painting for a little bit more if we want.
Yeah,
I'm going to be doing base coating on.
Keep painting.
All right. Well, let me take.
Because all I'm gonna do is like switch cameras
break.
and then just do my miniatures. Like that's all I would end up doing, to be honest.
Yeah, you've still got my clippers.
Yep.
The only reason I've got this out in grey plastic at the moment is because I thought, oh, it'd be really nice to build something, and then I couldn't find my fucking clippers.
Maybe I need to get my own. Can you buy me some, please? I need to watch.
Some just in the drawer in the kitchen, but.
Oh yeah, I want like my special set. You know, I'm gonna go look. One day you guys are gonna spell it right.
Website, how much it is.
wall in between, holding hands with gloves. It's true, there is a wall splitting us around. I'm guessing you're hungry as well. Do you want me to switch off?
I am hungry, so I was going to say, yeah, let's take a 10-minute break. I'll go scoff down some dinner,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back and we'll just continue base coding these pathfinders.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. Off you go. You're free. You're off screen. That's explicit. Yeah, with like pixelization. Oh my god. Now I want to ask him if he wants to get hot chocolate as well. It's too lewd. What if Moon gets pregnant even with the gloves? I'll be so impressed. For so many reasons. So many reasons. I don't even know where to start. Oh, I'm glad we did this though. And, I hope you guys had fun and Mock had fun as well. I thought he'd be going for ages the way he talked to me. He will. He's getting food. It's God damn it, Joel. Alright. I will walk in a second. I promise. Mark has amazing time planning. Yeah, he's very super organized. He has neuro spicy superpowers. I'm near who this? Hi Joel. What'd you get? Let me see. Oh yum. Do you want a hot chocolate? Oh yeah, it's fair. Might as well clump together.
Look at that, they just fucking cum shot. They're spicy.
But
It's not like exploded.
look, this is really fast. Nice to meet Marowak. After hearing him sometimes. It's getting worse.
One, yeah.
It's getting worse. That was the best one. Yeah, I agree. But no, Joel, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you.
Oh, show me the Redemptor.
Oh yeah. Let me show you all the stuff. You can actually comment on it now. Here you go. Look at the
Oh yeah. I do love plasma glow. That looks fantastic.
Is Black Sword still
That
there?
is exact. Oh, I love that. Using the white ink.
Oops.
Yeah, using that white ink, using that purple as your accent color. Purple and the green go really nice. That is fantastic.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Genuinely
Look at
awesome.
that little shing.
Yeah, he even put the highlighting on all the missiles.
Yeah. Very cool. It's very cool. And that's just the link from Silver proving that you spent too much money on things. Still is trying to call you out. I mean, you probably deserve it. See, you probably deserve it. I was right. There you go. It came up. Just spamming followage. I was talking to a real life friend about what I was doing, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Drinking boba while watching Mock stream 40K on my Twitch channel," because they know I stream. And they're like, "This is a work friend as well," and they're like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Warhammer," and then spent it out like 40-000, and they're like, you say it like 40,000? And I'm like, no, you say it like 40K, like spelling it out. And I'm like, which I realize now is really weird but anyway. And she's like, oh, is that like that weird Japanese shit that you got? Similar, but they play with it on tables. And then she's like, this is the best bit. Is it for kids?
Not at the prices they charge.
No. And then she just wrote back, you're such a nerd. I'm just like, yeah, I am. I guess so. Anyways, gah. Look. All right, thank you for the like, Stella. Always appreciate you.
I was about to say I've left a candle burning unattended. I haven't.
I'm monitoring it.
Mm.
I can see if your room burns down. I guess I could like, this is like a nice background at the moment that I can just kind of like leave here. He got mad. I sent it too fast, literally 30 seconds. So I had to say something else. Repost from above. Does my resub count towards September? It was automated and is for 6 months. Oh. I don't know is the answer. I have to think about that because you're a little early. The 6 months is very nice though. Remind me. Oh, actually it says 12 months. It says resubscribe for 12 months. Oh no for 12 times. Okay, yeah, no, I understand. I was like, so I think Joel, it will come up anyway, because my understanding with other people where I've resubbed for them for a long period for the discount, it'll come up at the month in the chat as that automatic message to tell me. So you can like that it's due at the month. So the number, I think the number will still go up. So I think in like 30 days from now, it will still count. Yeah, it does come. So it will still happen in a month. Yeah. It will like pop up and you'll be able to post in chat. And then the number will go up. So it will do it. It's just that you're getting a discount. Asian, welcome back. I know it's not 40k, but I must say this. Go for it. When does September end? End of September. So we'll do it for the whole month. So it will pop up. It will pop up. What if the Mobile Suit Gundam is the Earth Federation that we see on along the way? This is where I wish Koi was here. It's so funny. Koi is the Gundam person. Mock's the 40k person. With our powers combined, we're ultra nerds. Mock's nodding in agreement while he stuffs his face. I'm cool with that. Let me know though, Joel. If you get to the end of the month and you're like, oh, it's not popping up, I'll just give you the vote. I promise I'll just give you the vote. I just don't want to like do it now and then it comes up again and confuses things, if you know what I mean. Because I just won't remember. Wouldn't Gundam just try to hook up with the town? I hope so. That could be hot. Mock groaned.
There's so much lore behind this, and like real world lore as well.
Really?
Yeah, I'll talk about it a bit when I get back on.
Yeah, stop eating next to me. Go back to your table so that your avatar works.
Exile to the table.
Go exile yourself. Stinking up my room with delicious things I don't know. Smells like tomato sauce. That's so weird. Thank you for the hygiene. It's what he's been eating next to me this entire time. And I'm like, why are you making me hungry? Stop it. Stretching. Wow. Hope you've been well, Az. I know you were going through some things last time we chatted. Looks good. Yeah. It's like Gizmez and Gomez. I think it's Mexican. Some kind of burrito bowl by the looks of it. I want dessert, guys. Oh, hot chocolate. That's all I was asking Mark, but I think they've closed now. I didn't do it in time. I was too slow. Love Gomez. Wait, do you mean this? Is this the singer Gomez joke, or is this like Gomez and Gomez?
Do you think they're related?
Oh my god, no! Get out of here.
Right. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Gomez Adams. Oh yeah, that's another one. I forgot that.
I actually thought Gomez was their last names, not their first names.
Everything smells like tomato sauce in here now, Mark. That's the smell. Tomato sauce.
Oh, it's a spicy. I think that's actually
It smells like tomato sauce.
capsicum sauce.
Well, smells like tomato sauce.
Oh,
Oh, the Wednesday shame. I've like noted it, but I wasn't sure.
Azaria asked, why wouldn't the Gundam just ally with the Tau or hook up with the Tau? And the interesting thing about the Tau is that when they first came out in 2001, it was a vaguish kind of Asian influence in some of the art. They had like wide conical hats, which look like straw hats that some samurais would wear and that kind of stuff. And they had this battle suits. They had a essentially there's a pilot in there. It's not an exoskeleton so much as it is an actual mecha. Because like the arms and legs don't, the pilot's arms and legs don't go into the arms and legs in the machine itself. Like it's an actual piloted vehicle. It's not an exosuit. And because of that, Tau started to pick up a whole bunch of attention from people who love Gundam. And in the design notes at the time, they explicitly said, hey, we did make the battle suits to look like something from Gundam so that we could try and push into that market and get market dominance that way. But that's not the reason I started collecting the Tau. I started collecting the Tau. Actually, this is a bad example. I started collecting the Tau for two reasons. The first is their ship design is fucking amazing. This is just their main battle tank. It's just got such elegant curves. It's a skimmer. It looks great. I just didn't like the way that the skimmers looked with the Eldar at the time. So, you know, I liked the idea. I've always loved the idea of air cavalry. And the Tau these are essentially hover tanks. So, you know, air cav out the wazoo. When I started the stream, I was talking about the fact that I love the fact that the Tau was space NATO. I love the idea of air cav dismounting. You've got a forward observer. Suddenly missiles and cruise missiles and that kind of stuff start streaking down and destroying your enemy. That's fantastic. There's nothing anime about that. That's just modern warfare. The second reason I like Tau is because of hyper-accelerated tungsten slugs. I love railguns. I love the idea of railguns. This little dude has got a rail rifle. There you go. It's going to accelerate a tungsten slug to hypervelocity, and it's going to punch right through the side of a Lehman Russ battle tank. I love that idea. As the Tau went along, Games Workshop started adding more and more and more mecha to the army. Although, to be fair, they did add a couple more variants of that hammerhead gunship that I showed you. And they added piranha skimmers as well. So I can't complain that they never added any more of the stuff that I really liked. But as they went along, they started adding more and more and more mecha, because that was the bit that apparently sold well with Tau. And so the Tau became the Weeb faction. They didn't intentionally start out as the Weeb faction, but they ended up as the faction that everyone looked at and went, ugh, you weebs. The fact is, some people at the time thought the Tau were too good for the 40k universe. And some people, I will admit, like they're kind of, in some ways, they think of themselves as the good guys of the 40k universe. But the fact is, if the Tau, they're an empire. They're not nice people. If they were in any other universe, they would be the bad guys. And in fact, they were. In Star Trek DS9, the Dominion is essentially the Tau. They're the bad guys of the entire season arc, or multi-season arc of DS9. But because they're in 40k, where you've got humans who will drop a church on you from orbit and then purge you with fire and put stakes through people's hearts, suddenly they look like the good guys by comparison. They're not nice people. They have gunboat diplomacy. They're aggressively expansionist. They have a centrally controlled economy. They have a caste system. They're not what we think of as good people. So it's interesting how the Tau have mutated over the years, and how the memes have picked up and treated them. But it's just, I find them a fascinating faction.
What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna paint? I
I'm
think
going
you
to
should
paint.
paint.
Yeah, I'm going to go on mute so I can have some more boba.
Why? We want to hear the sucking. They're really into it, trust me. He doesn't believe me.
The thing about boba is that it satiates that deep-seated desire that every human has to suck up tadpoles through a reed.
What? No. What?
Don't tell me that that's not what you think about when you.
No! I'm looking at you like, what? No. What is this? Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Cool. Let's continue base coding some pathfinders.
I heard part of that. Sucking of what? He said sucking tadpoles up through a reed. The basic human need to suck tadpoles up
Every human
through.
feels it. Don't try and pretend that you don't.
No, I guess I'm a fox because that is not a thing. Where did you get that from? What terrible ass meme did you drag that out of?
That was from Tumblr, I'm fairly certain.
Oh god, that place still exists? Why?
Well, I got reshared to Imgur. Although Imgur's on fire at the moment, so,
Good. I don't use them. I don't know. It's the same reaction when people start a sentence with "so I read on Reddit" and I'm like, oh no, the millennials
your
are
eyes
coming.
roll into the back of your head.
I fished with my great grandfather's net. That's cool. That's like I don't know, cool bit of family history. Ba-ba, ba-da.
See, you can hear that. I can't.
Yeah. Oh, I can like share a jam with you and you can put it on your. Oh, you know what I can do? Actually, hold up.
What?
Hold up. Is this gonna work or is this gonna fuck me over? Here you go. So on your laptop, I'm now sharing my screen and it's the Spotify.
No, that's not on the laptop. That would be.
Oh, it's
phone,
on the
what?
phone. Where are you getting the audio from? The phone?
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah, I
work.
kind of figured.
I'd have to give you the other account to log in, and it's all squiffy. It's all squiffy.
It's all just too much.
Yeah. Nice try. Yeah. Yeah. I need a second account. We have a second account. That's why I just said. I was like, oh, I could give you the second account to log in. That's the what did we call it? Foxobot? Botto Fox? I don't know. It's a very old admin account that I've dragged through so many servers now. It's seen some things, that poor account. Wah. Does make me want to work on my miniature.
I realize that we did a real whistle stop tour there. But if anyone had any questions about that kind of stuff, by all means, feel free to ask in the chat and I will answer them to the best of my abilities.
40K question. Well, fan question. Yep, go for it. I love it. I'm still laughing that I bought for your birthday a Tao candle. What got you into models in the first place?
Right. So when I was a kid, I went over to one of my best friend's houses, and his older brother was into Rogue Trader, so the very original part of 40K. And my friend had a couple of Ultramarines painted up, because Ultramarines were one of the very first armies to kind of get that glow up in second ed. And I looked at them and I thought, yeah, that's pretty fucking bitchin'. That looks all right. Looks like fun. So that Christmas for 93, me and my brother got to share the 40K second ed boxed set. And I read through all the background and that kind of stuff. And I painted up the minis. And I looked at all the minis in like White Dwarf and that kind of stuff at the time. And I thought, fuck, why don't mine look anything like that? Mine look fucking shit. And then I just slowly got better. 40K is like the universe sucked me in. This idea of hyper engineered genetic child soldiers, let's put it that way. That's probably the nicest way that we can say it. Fighting against giant space funguses. That was when the Tyranids were first coming out as well. Like they've been out for a while in Rogue Trader, but they hadn't really been their own faction. The Tyranid Codex came out, and it's just sort of like it felt like such a brand new world. And I had grown up not in an overly religious family, but with enough religion in my life that I looked at all the religious imagery that was just saturated 40K. And I sort of like I gelled with it, of this idea of this kind of dark satire of this is how ridiculous religion can get when you take it too far kind of thing. And I was really starting to feel that as well with my upbringing of I was Anglican, so it wasn't like we were Catholic. But my dad's family were Catholic, and there was a lot of like that kind of religion being pushed in school as well and that kind of stuff. So I kind of gelled with the environment of 40K and the background of 40K first. And that helped me power through my first terrible models and want to do better and want to paint up cool stuff and want to paint up, big spaceman with big space gun. So
Hi,
it's
Doom.
really a lot of things got me into 40K. A lot of things got me into minis. And 40K is not the only stuff I paint. I've painted up a couple of Warhammer Fantasy characters back before it became Age of Sigmar. And I've used them to play D&D and that kind of stuff. So it's not that I only paint 40K, but it is the mainstay of the stuff that I paint because I enjoy the setting and I enjoy the minis.
What are you doing? Are you off to work? I think you should go to work listening to 40K soundtrack today. I just feel like in your line of work, it will just have a whole different feel to your day. I think it will be quite motivational. You know, the Emperor. He's probably just sleeping in bed. Thank you for the question, Az, by the way. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any other random questions about 40k or painting or miniatures in general. What do you do for the grass and gravel and everything?
Well, actually basing. That's
Mm.
a type of paint that I haven't touched on. They're called technical paints. So to be a legal army to play in 40k tournaments and that kind of stuff, you need to have a basing effect applied. And they sell that as a paint. I got it in a starter set. I don't think I've ever used it. They call it Astro Granite. But what I actually do for my grass and my bases is I use PVA. And here in Sydney, we have a lot of good sandstone. So we actually have a lot of really great sand in Australia. So I've just got, and that's what the candles are sitting on, I've just got 2 boxes of sand here. And I'll put a couple of blobs of PVA on the base and then I'll just run it through the sand.
I love it. Just dirt.
Just dirt.
Just literally dirt. What do you use for your
Actually, that was
dirt?
a problem
Dirt.
that was a problem I had at the beginning where there was a lot of dirt in it. So I had to actually wash the sand to get rid of the dirt and
Oh
then
my
sieve it out.
God, that's really funny. Dim asked a question, but I answered it for him. He asked, "Why is it called 40k? Are there 40k of them?" And I answered, "Yeah." Which is interesting because we were talking earlier about the novels. Most of the novels are set in 41, right? 41k.
Okay, so
Hi,
the
Shadow.
timeline's all fucky. The timeline
Your
is all
sand is
fucky.
so realistic.
For the longest time, 40k was only in the year 40,000. Like it is the year 40,000. For the last 10,000 years, the emperor has sat immobile upon his golden throne. And then, at about 2010, I think it was, it's been going for a long time, they released the first Horus Heresy book. And the Horus Heresy had always been this kind of thing that had happened way back when in the 40k timeline, like 10,000 years ago. The Emperor went on a great crusade to unify all the dominions of man across the galaxy, but he was betrayed by his favorite son, the Primarch Horus. And that was something that was always sort of like in the deep dark of 40k past. This is something that happened 10,000 years ago, and this is what caused the Emperor to die and be entombed upon the Golden Throne. So it was always a mythological thing, but then they started creating the Horus Heresy series, which covered all of that. Like it went, okay, so here's how it actually went down 10,000 years ago. And now we're going to pull the curtain back and show you what was actually happening. And it had a lot of revelations in it as well that upset a lot of the existing 40k lore, such as the Emperor was an atheist. He didn't want to be thought of as a god. He was trying to get rid of religion throughout the stars. And yet now he's in the 40k universe, like deified. He's the emperor of mankind, the god emperor of mankind. And there's a lot of 40k books, but that's the big series of 40k, and that's set in the year 30,000. But then in 8th edition, they started moving the timeline forward. So for a long time, for like almost 25 years, no, actually, it was the 80s that Rogue Trader came out. So for like 30 years, 35 years, 40k, the timeline hadn't moved at all. It was constantly stuck at this 11th hour, doomsday clock, 2 minutes to midnight kind of thing. And they started writing the Age of Darkness series, where Rabute Gilliman, the Primarch of the Ultramarines, was revived. But this was when Abaddon the Despoiler, who's a big bad in the 40k universe, like he's the inheritor of Horus's mantle. He's the leader of the Black Legion Chaos Marines. He had 12 Black Crusades that had happened in the 10,000 years since the Horus Heresy. And in his 13th Black Crusade, he managed to destroy the world of Cadia. But Cadia was an important world because it was holding back this giant warp storm called the Eye of Terror. And by actually destroying the planet, and literally by throwing a giant star fort into it, he unleashed this warp storm, and it moved the timeline forward. And so, like, Rabute Gilliman is the only like loyalist Primarch who was back for a long time, and he was trying to pick up the pieces of his father's empire. And this is after the 30k revelations that the emperor was actually secular and he was trying to outlaw religion, and now you've turned it into this giant theocracy. So Rabute Gilliman came back and was sort of like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck are you guys doing? What the fuck is going on? Who the fuck is that guy? And it was, kind of like a funny little side effect to the entire galaxy is being ripped apart by the forces of the warp. But he figured out that no one actually knew what year it was. Somewhere in the last 10,000 years, everyone's kind of just lost count. There's no way of knowing what year it actually is. So he just went, fuck it. All right, that's it. It's the year 41,000 now, and we're going to move on. So most of the new books take place in the 41st millennium. Most of the books that were released up until then took place in the 40th millennium, except for a giant series that took place in the 30th millennium. Plus, with warp fuckery, the timeline's all over the place anyway. Like 40k is full of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey shit.
As I was just talking about, my first run-in with 40k was a CRTS. I'm going to say combat real-time strategy. But correct me if I'm wrong, that someone brought over and installed on my 4 PCs. Seemed like just another game to me. I didn't find out until decades later that it was a tabletop game. Okay, that's so interesting that you came across the game before the tabletop. Dumb thing stuck with me though. Those little peons kept whining, "Chaos is strong." Doom doesn't want to be a god, but has lived for 40k years. Aura farming. Technically, he can be considered a collective of people that kept being reborn, and they all offed themselves at the same time to become one. That's one.
Oh, the old shaman stuff. I think that's been written out of mythology now.
There you go. Who wants to
No
give?
longer canon, but yeah, I love the shaman stuff. And technically, he's 50,000 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, he might be 60,000. When was he born in Babylonia? Was it like 10,000 BC, or was it Stone Age?
Who wants to give their lives to me to become semi-immortal? We're on it, Doom. You have to go back in time. But then I come back. Oh my goodness, the planning. Spartan. I love the aesthetics for the salamanders, fire, drake skulls, and scale cloaks, waist clothes, showing that they're warriors, hunters, and crafters. We were talking Horus Heresy and the random time shit with the chaos warp crap.
It could be very cool. And I've seen it in a couple of the 30k armies where people are sort of like, oh, this is my 40k army, but it's also I'm using it for 30k. Because based on the success of, okay, there was way back in the 80s, when 40k was first starting out, they wanted to make a large scale game for giant battles with titans and that kind of stuff. So instead of a 32 mil game, which is what 40k is, they made a 10 mil game. So the minis were really, really tiny, but that meant that they could get giant titans, which stood, 40 stories tall in the lore, onto the tabletop. So they did that, but they could only afford to put so many titans into they could only afford to have so many sprues at once. So they could only afford to manufacture a certain amount of titans. So what they did with the box set is they just threw 2 lots in and said, oh, it's a civil war. And that's where the Horus Heresy kind of came from. So lots of people these days with their favorite legions go, oh, I'm collecting 30k because that's a game now, but I'm also going to use it in 40k as well. So you could have your salamanders be a 30k army and also a 40k army. But I just find it funny that 40k, like 30k has been around for so long.
Son, I've been aura farming since the world was a sperm. It's funny, I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, if we do a miniatures and models segment eventually, I forgot Wanted does Lego as well. So we literally have miniatures like
Holy
Warhammer.
trinity of
We got the Holy Trinity in this group that I never thought about it. And Koi actually does the 3D printing side of things. That's his job. So we actually have everyone in this group, but I don't know, we'll think about it. Might end up being this weird little rotating segment of you never know what you're gonna get. Or all of us just kind of come together and nerd over whatever we're doing just for fun. But yeah, it is pretty funny that we all do something. It would be for the passion of
the
it.
reason
It's not a successful category,
Yeah.
but it's the same with like food and drink category isn't technically a successful category, but we do it with Wolfie. We don't really care. Has there been any
the reason I bring up
one-man
all the 30k
armies?
stuff and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Sly Marbo.
Well, there you go. Like, not just one really strong guy in an army, but he has no one else to go to war with, or for him, it's just him, a walking calamity.
Yeah, Sly Marbo kind of. Uh, there's, it's a bit of a joke answer, but literally in the 3.5 ed Imperial Guard Codex, I think it was, Sly Marbo is a Catachan character, and his literal subtitle is Sly Marbo, the one-man army. And Catachan was always sort of like based off the roided out 80s action movies anyway. So Sly Marbo is essentially just a pun on Rambo. He's Rambo's character. He disappears into the jungle and enemies die, and
How
then he comes
Spartan
out
knows
for
him.
some weary colonel to pin another medal on him for doing whatever it is that he did last time, and then he just disappears back into the jungle. In terms of
Yeah.
actual one man armies, though, not on the tabletop. The closest you'll get is knights, the Imperial Knights, and Imperial Knights are sort of like they're halfway in between like a normal soldier and a Titan. They're giant war machines that stand about 5 stories tall. They've got a pilot inside who is wired into a control throne or command throne, who is essentially constantly mind battling the machine spirit, or you'd almost think of it as like a specific AI within to get the machine to do what he wants or what she wants. And they're usually nobles on the world that they're stationed on, which is why they're called knights. And knights, because they're so big and because they're so tough, you'll have an army that's normally about 5 miniatures. So they're big, giant guys. But in terms of actual walking calamities, not so much on the tabletop, but there is a little bit in the lore of like alien races or warp demons who are particularly powerful, who will just turn up and things will start going wrong, and they'll just start like entire planets will get turned into something terrible in its wake. So there's a lot of stuff in the lore about that kind of walking calamities. Nothing like Vash the Stampede, though.
Good reference. I love this comment from Az. Could painting miniatures be considered advanced coloring books?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Spartan, I love the story behind the Primaris? Can you just, is it?
Primaris Marines?
Okay.
Yeah.
That their starters are closer to their Primarchs. I do wish that they allowed for editing the faces on Space Marine too, just so if I went helmetless, that they'd have charcoal skin and red eyes is what makes salamanders so cool. And then that sums up some of the shit I do when gaming. I slink off into whatever hellscape of a war zone I end up in, then enemies die. I really enjoyed the Space Marine game. The manliest I've ever felt.
We should play more of it, actually. The operations are a lot of fun.
It was really good. Oh yeah, I forgot. Now that we finished it, we can actually do more. It was hell on my PC though, so I do need to. Oh my god, everyone's gonna yell at me.
Oh, to stream at the same time?
I don't know. When I played it with Koi though, the lag was. It was a thing.
Oh, yeah. That's Aussie lag.
Yeah, I definitely struggled with some things. Operations and Siege is fun. You've updated the PC a little though. I have not. It's still sitting there. Everyone's yelling at me. I was gonna do it today as
Still sitting
well,
on
and
the
I was
desk.
exhausted and slept in. So I will maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I want Mock to kind of help me. I am nervous. I need someone to hold my hand. I live my life on my PC, so every time I do a little update, even though I've done it so many times, I get really nervous because I'm like, my PC. I love you, PC. Guess something a pussy? I know. I guess one man army, you could say a Norn queen. I mean, her brain runs the whole thing like one organizer. That's clever.
I think it's kind of cheating to call the Tyranids one organism. But you're not entirely wrong.
I like it. I like it. Ooh, my treats are 2 minutes away.
Oh, you got pizza?
No. Why pizza?
Oh, chat. I thought you said pizza 2 minutes away.
No, my treats.
Oh, your treats are.
Treats are. Oh, I can see how you thought pizza. Yeah, I hear it.
Pizza.
Treats are. Okay, yeah, no, I hear it. I hear it. Okay. That's fair enough. I'm just screenshotting all my Marines for operations and siege. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, that'd be really cool to see. I was really enjoying Rogue Trader, actually. I mean, Koi, of course, did not finish the game, as we all expected, but it
I
did.
haven't even gotten past the tutorial area.
Oh, really? It seemed really cool, but there was definitely parts which are just not obvious. Like, we did end up having to look up a guide at one point because it was just like,
Oh yeah,
dude.
the full complexity of the tabletop RPG to begin with, of Dark Heresy, and then they added extra systems on top.
Well, it wasn't even that, to be honest. Like, it wasn't even the knowledge or the systems. It was stuff like at one point, it was just a simple what would you call it? It's a combine items to create new items,
Oh right,
right?
yeah.
It's that's simple, the system. But the knowledge to
It's a
know
rock. It's a
which
tree.
items to combine. They're like, oh, we have secretly hidden all this information all over the ship or some shit. And you're just like, dude, and it doesn't even reward you really for doing it. And so it was just like, it's such typical like old school. It's not even an old school RPG, but it felt like that. It was just like, what is this? I'm getting into
Your reward
40k and
is
make my
story
own one man
progression.
army lord. Do it, Doom. You should get like a, I don't know, like some kind of Doomatron printed. You just put your one little panda. Maybe should I add that on my dumb list? Okay, hang on, wait. I've been keeping my community goals of dumb things. Maybe like at what point do we do 3D models? Hang on, I don't know. Three D model set. Yeah, there you go. Like added it to our list of dumb things that will never reach. Nova. If I write my own lore, will Mock read it out? I'm sure he would be. Just go walk. Can we please shout out Nova?
Grim darkness, the far future. There is a red panda.
Mork. Second one, Mock. I'm okay. Stupid Bailey. I don't know how to spell it now. Yeah, Bailey and John were deliberately fucking up chat by misspelling it. Oh, I just needed to read. It's in the title. I was gonna say I did just put it in the title. Doom, can you please shout out Nova? My snacks are here. I just go get my snacks. But yeah, Katachan's, they're very muscle-bound 80s action movie. Roided
Yeah,
up
Katachan.
manly men. Oh my goodness.
Katachan is supposed to be a high gravity planet, which is something that, most sci-fi doesn't really get into enough. Is the idea of, and The Expanse does this really well. I quite like it with the Belters. But this idea that every world that people are fighting over is sort of like, oh, it's Earth-like, but it's a desert planet, but it's still got sort of like a nitrogen, oxygen atmosphere that we can breathe, and it's still got standard gravity, and everything still works. Most sci-fi just glosses over that kind of stuff, and in fact, 40K does as well. But I like the fact that Katachan, it's got heavier gravity than a normal planet. What would that make the people look like? And of course, the 40K answer is fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, mate. Was Andromeda the one with Kevin Sorbo as the captain? I think I watched 3 episodes of that. That was Gene Roddenberry as well, I seem to remember. And he had nanites in his blood or something like that. Like, Andromeda felt like so many good ideas, terribly executed. I get the feeling that I would have loved the show if it was just slightly better.
I am back. Kevin Sorbo. Viper, hello. Can we shout out Viper? Oh my god, Andromeda.
Hello, Viper.
Would high gravity planets do that to us? Make us big, meaty Arnold Schwarzenegger or Hulk Hogan like people?
The long and
Good
short of
say.
it is we don't actually know. But it's probably a pretty good guess that constantly being in higher gravity means that you'd be resistance training constantly. But we don't know if if that would have like long-term effects on people's bone health. We don't know what kind of effects it might have on people's circulatory systems. Having to support that much extra muscle might be hell on the body, on the heart. It's an interesting question though, and it's one of the things I love about sci-fi is just asking those what ifs. Like, what if we were on a higher gravity planet?
It's, oh my
Yeah, the
goodness.
entire Katchan is essentially just Predator, full stop. It's 100% that ultra macho. You're bleeding. I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Viper. I'm really glad you're okay now. Stop being a pussy and you'll be Superman. I feel like, is that just me in life?
Join me in today's meditation. Take a deep breath through your blowhole and relax. You are floating in the calming blue depths of this ocean. You are a whale. I'm a whale.
Namaste. Just numbing on chocolate now while we chill. Good. Good. I'm glad you come. What'd you guys get into? Like, if you had to choose, would it be like Gunpla style, Warhammer style, or Lego? I got some Gullivan seashells. See, I love Gunpla because it's like all of the cutting out first part of Warhammer, but because of like the plastic, the transparent plastic, is no painting. It'd be Lego.
I will admit Gunpla has done amazing work with the assembly. When I started 40K, mold lines were everywhere. I mean, in fact, when I started 40K, a lot of them were just sort of like one solid hunk of metal. And so you had mold lines where the two halves of
Hey, Rose.
the mold came together. Gunpla, like 40K has come a long way in hiding those mold lines underneath cloaks and that kind of stuff, so they're not as obvious anymore. But Gunpla has Games Workshop really outclassed when it comes to making a miniature that is just so nice to put together.
Yeah, I need to learn a bit more. I need to look up a few how-tos to like make them perfect. But yeah. Rose, welcome. This is in July, the sub reward was for Mokia to give everyone a 40K painting tutorial for miniatures. So here we are. This is Mock, who you will sometimes hear in the background. We are talking Warhammer. Well, I make models of cars and aircrafts. Oh, that's another one as well. That's true. I didn't even think of that, but I'm not sure if viewers would be into those. Yeah, no, that's cool as well. I always think of those crazy like miniatures in a bottle stuff where they're like using tweezers and stuff, and I'm like, that's insane.
Not even just the miniatures in the bottle. Any modern miniature of a battleship, so insanely detailed.
That's so cool. Oh, poor kitty Nova. Yeah, it's crazy. I get too pissed off painting the small models. It's so funny how I'm like really creative, but the idea of like painting, I'm just like, nah. I don't know why. I just really enjoy the assembly.
Well, don't get me wrong, I love the assembly as well. I just find this very meditative.
My Twitch won't let me do small models. I can do big ones, so yeah, no.
Actually, there is a lot of stuff around painting minis when you've got carpal tunnel or shaky hands, or because my hands aren't very steady. Years of alcohol abuse and caffeine has done that for me. But I'm not going to claim that I'm impaired in any way, shape, or form. But there's a lot of tips for, and a lot of tool aids as well for painting minis when you've got some kind of physical impact.
It's really cool.
Like, one of the interesting things about miniature painting is if I've had even a beer, absolutely cannot paint miniatures. It goes all over the place. Cannot handle it. All of my muscle control, all of my fine motor control just goes out the window.
I have nerve damage, so it's difficult, but I'll take the advice. I mean, it sounds like there's other people out there who have found ways.
Yeah. And for some people, look, I'm not going to say that everyone can paint miniatures. It's some people just do have enough of an impairment that there's no way around it. But there's people out there who will sell tools that, if you've got problems with your hands, one of the things that 40K Citadel does do is make these little painting handles, and you can make your own out of cork and that kind of stuff. But being able to grip it in a fist and move it around that way can make it a little bit easier for people with shaky hands to do it. Or you can get little tools that will pin the mini to the desk so that you can paint the mini while it's on the desk. There's always tools and ways around a lot of the stuff. So I'm not going to, blow smoke up your ass. But if you've got shaky hands, there's a couple of YouTubers out there who have shaky hands and they still paint minis. There's a lot of other things that you can do.
Oh, here you go. Dean was just saying, I just dunked him in paint, call it a day, one color armies, and I was like, yeah, I call that the Dunkin' Bunk. Can you imagine Doom just sitting there? Dunk, put him on the table. Bunk.
One of the things that I didn't talk about during the painting, but some people do, shades, I called them a wash. You could do them as a wash. Some people make what they call army dip, and it's a big actual jar of like a wash, some thinner, maybe some water in there as well. And they literally just get the base coats on their models and then just throw them into the army dip and pull them out after a couple of minutes. And then that's it. That's how they grime up their models.
I mean, daddy? Oh my god. Yuck, stop it. Get out of here with
All
it.
right. We have hit 11. I've got work tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm going to call it a night.
He's
for
calling it
tonight.
a night. He's going. I'm like stuffing my face with chocolate. Okay. There you go. You're free.
No, that's
You're
all
free.
right. I'll still chat for a little bit. I'm just not going to be able to paint anymore.
Oh, so keep it on this screen?
Yes, at meds time. If you want.
Yeah. You adopted me? Are you finishing now, Minx? Not finishing. What time is it? I will see where the fish is as well.
Yeah, Viper, with the brush stuff, what I usually do is I'll have my hands together and then I'll let the brush do the work. And I still find myself, occasionally my hand just makes strange movements, but you're letting the side of the brush hit the mini. And so you don't have to have as much fine detail. So it comes to a problem when I'm painting lenses and eyes and that kind of stuff, because that's too fine a detail really for me to really get quite good at. But using the side of the brush and letting the mini do the work, because don't forget, you're painting a 3D object. Letting the mini do the work will help you make the most of what motor control you have. Oh, one final thing. I do recommend having some level of paintbrush cleaner. If you're going to be painting minis, be careful with this stuff. It is toxic. You don't want it on your hands, and you don't want it to sit on your brush either.
Don't drink it.
But it's a good idea after you've finished. Yeah, and don't drink it. But it's a good idea after you've finished painting. There's always going to be some paint that has dried onto the brush. So I usually just throw it into the painter cleaner. I think this is just methylated spirits. It might be isotonic alcohol. I don't know. I can't read German, and this is all in German. But then you just hitting the brush with a little bit of painter cleaner and then brushing it off, making certain to work out all the paint from the bristles, and then you just wash it off. You never want to have the painter cleaner sit in the paint. That's it on the brush. But if you just give it a bit of a rinse off with that and then clean it off, it'll keep your bristles softer for much longer, and it will help you avoid paint buildup underneath the ferrule, which, as I said earlier, will cause the bristles to, when the paint gets into the ferrule, the metal bit, and dries, it causes the bristles to split. And that's what causes most of your brushes to get bad over a period of time.
Yeah, Rose, definitely post it. For anyone who's not in it, we do, if you take on the role, which is like something like cozy / miniatures, there is, in the arcade, there is a channel for miniatures. So if you want to get back into it or you want to learn more, blah, 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 let me know. I can tag you into that channel.
And when we're done today, I'm gonna post an in-progress pic of my ethereal that I painted. So that I painted on stream, so we can see how some of those miniatures look in a little bit better detail.
Actually, oh, it didn't do it. There's actually way more than 2 of us. there's 7 of us. And this is technically an 8th. This is a guest host at the moment. But yeah, there's 7 co-hosts that
my
only
lucky
stream
number.
on one channel. We each do different segments. So there you go. Welcome.
You don't need it on the dry
The
brush
sun
as
is
much,
just
but
Linkin Park
best
crawling. Was it?
exercise.
I was not listening. Was it really? That's hilarious. Just casual 40k in the background. Oh my goodness. Your stream just went a little pixelated. Okay, it's back. Oh, Rose
All right.
just
Well, thank you,
painted.
everyone. This was super fun. I will share updates. I'm happy to continue to answer questions about anything anyone has. If you join the Discord and look in the miniatures and models section, well, I'm happy to answer questions. But yeah, it was super fun. I really enjoyed getting to share this pretty big part of my life with you guys.
He
Oh,
is.
final thing.
He goes by
Paint
this
pots,
if you ever
Citadel
see him
paint
in the
pots,
chat.
they fucking suck.
Oh, there you go.
Make certain with your Citadel paint pots that you don't let paint dry up into the top. And if you do, you need to cut it out with a hobby knife, pull it out with a pin or something, because otherwise they won't seal properly and all of your paint will go dry.
Well,
Or get some proper dropper pots and just move the stuff over.
seeing all of your screenshots, Spartan, looks really good as well. Yeah, let me know if you guys are in the Discord and you want to be put into the miniatures channel. Let me know. I'm more than happy to tag you in there so you find it as well. But if you have the role for cozy art and miniatures, you'll be able to find it. Have a good one, guys. Well, Fish is gonna take over. So Koi is on his way home. I don't know what he's planning on doing for his segment, but add me. Okay, yep. I will tag you in. Let's see if you come up. Yep, there you are. I have tagged you in. Oh, let me check. Oh, and Viper. Yep. Tagged in. Yeah, boy. There you go. Sorry, Doom. You know what else sucks? What sucks, Doom? Okay, bye. I'm off the way. Yeah, me too, Nova. I'm eating chocolate right now. I don't know what happened. I'm in full gremlin mode as well. It's because you had the picnic, wasn't it, Nova? I know what it is. It's all that chocolate mousse and stuffing your food. That's what gets me. But yeah. Joey, to come off the screen up? Are you happy to sit there or? Oh, because my
I'm happy to sit here, but just be aware that I am sucking on boba.
What? Raid, Blaze. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, guys. Can we please get a shout out for Blaze? We have essentially finished, I will admit, but Mock is still taking questions. We're just kind of chilling. So we did a how to paint 40k miniatures. It was very basic. So even if you have any questions now or want to know how to get started, or if you're more advanced and want to know some techniques, or if you just want some lore dumping, let us know. More than happy to chat for a little bit.
I'm always happy to lore dump all over the place.
And about to have to work. And then Koi is on his way home. He's going to be taking over the segment. But I just don't know how long he's going to be. So we're just chilling. I told you, Doom, play the 40k soundtrack on the way to work. It's going to have such a different feel for the job today. It's going to be great. Going to be ready. Lore dumping. Yeah. Sorry, Span. And I just put screenshots of the 6 classes of operations and siege I took from, oops, it moved, what I've seen for Salamander veterans and looking for the symbols for rank and heraldic symbols and coloring. Well, those are really cool. I feel like I've dumped a lot of screenshots this time and
Yeah,
just
it was
said,
super
we'll go through it. It's cool.
super interesting, Spartan. Actually, I tried when you were asking about that. I tried doing a bit of research in the stuff that I have, even way back into the 90s, and the salamanders just don't get much information about their markings and their marking scheme, which is weird because the 40k writers seem almost anally retentive about that stuff when it comes to like the Blood Angels and the Ultramarines and that kind of stuff, even down to what they have on their knee pads. But salamanders, not so much.
It's so funny. Are you gonna get into miniatures, Spartan? Are you gonna do it? That'd be great. I'm sad you're not giving us any of the boba sucking sounds though.
Oh, I've still got my mic on, so if you can't hear it, that's your problem.
Oh
Skill issue.
damn. Yes, your mic has a skill issue. Yeah, he is well suited. I think he'll rage at first. I think he'll be like, "This is shit." And then
There's been times
you'll
where
enjoy
I've
it.
been frustrated to tears by this, yeah.
He just woke up. Welcome back again, kittens. I still focuses sorting myself out for working. I get it. I get it. Me too,
You get
so many
that.
times. Everyone's waking up. He's incredible, yeah. I was just looking in the server as well. It's about this
I am
time in
looking
the
forward to
stream
that.
everyone wakes up. Well, good night.
I will be eagerly checking the server for all of everything that people share.
Did you read Discord this morning? I scrolled. I admit I didn't read it. Was there something I slept badly? Was there something I should have noticed? I kind of like scroll through in the morning sometimes and be like, is there anything I should care about? um, yeah, there was like, okay, no, I think I was too tired, so I didn't actually, I just saw the Goku stuff and presumed it was about that still. Watching this YouTube video about aliens and UFOs, sweet. I said something that randomly triggered a buried memory from my childhood. The main way that my alien abduction phobia, that's fair, manifests is almost a PTSD like fear of clear windows at night. Oh, that's fair, to be honest. Like, you know when you stay at those like rented holiday resorts in like a forest or something and they have the really massive bay windows without the curtains and then it goes to night and that's supposed to be peaceful and I'm like, they're out there. I don't know what they are, but they're out there and they're staring at me and I can't see them. And my animal instinct just goes haywire. I hate it. I need curtains. I don't like it. That's why when we do like horror things here, like I don't go for the whole ghost stories or alien stories, that kind of stuff. I go for the real stories of shit that's happened because to me that's way scarier, especially when it's just not explained. And I'm just like, I hate this. I'll think about if I'm still thinking about it days later. I'm like, okay, that was a good story. Wait, what? I didn't read Discord yet. I'm still reading through your story. I'm still reading through. This is part of it. Why are you abducting Bailey? Oh, that's so funny. It was unrelated. It was unrelated. Oh my god, that's so funny. That's so funny to follow on from that. Hang on, I'll explain that in a minute. Even get some sleep. I'd lay awake. That's fair. I had an experience as a kid, and to this day, I don't know if I had just been watching something I shouldn't have or I was unwell or whatever, but I have like this clear memory of I think it was like, what do you call it when you're like lucid dreaming? There's like something at the end of my bed that was like alien-ish, and I couldn't scream. I was like just making squeaking sounds, and I was so petrified. And then when I finally managed to like move myself, probably woke up. I bet you was like sleeping with my eyes open or something, and it wasn't there, and I just ran into my parents' room. So yeah. But I really remember it. It's really full on. Okay, so the alien abduction thing was Leaf came in here and really randomly was like, if Bailey got abducted, would you save him? And I was like, I don't think I know where to start. Like, if I believed it and I wanted to save him, like, what do I do? So I asked ChatGPT to give me a plan to approach saving my Twitch moderator from being abducted. And that's what it spat out. That's what ChatGPT gave me the plan to do. Because I was like, I don't really know where to start with this. So there you go. ChatGPT solves everything. That was completely unrelated as well. I had not even noticed what you had posted, Nova. So sleep paralysis. Yeah, I've had it a few times. Oh my god, what is this? Kill Team?
Kill team.
Vespid
I got this the other
Stingwas?
day. Stingwings. So this is going to be the next big project.
Oh yeah, I'm
After I
reading it
finish
upside
the
down. You get it the right way. I'm reading it upside down.
after I finish the minis that are actually here, a couple of crisis suits, this is the next thing, and I'm looking forward to it.
He's got a little shame pile.
Pile of opportunity. Yeah, big pile of shame. Including an entire Talon Desert Raider Imperial Guard army that I need to repaint.
I think it wasn't even bear or wobble mauling you. Oh my goodness. Nick squeals when she gets scared. I do. Mox had to deal with me whimpering in my sleep as I lucid dream about something next to the bed or something. It happens. Are you walking out of the water? I was about to ask you a question. Oh well.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I was gonna ask advice on building terrain. Like,
Righto, so building terrain, like, what were you going to say?
I was gonna clarify, but you knew what I meant.
Right, so building terrain, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. I have an old 40k kit. Building terrain is something that I do tend to find 3D printing is pretty good for, just to make greeblies and bits and bobs. Because you don't really worry too much about the resolution of detail on terrain as you do on minis. Like, I've just got a whole bunch of cargo containers and that kind of stuff that are 3D printed, and I just threw them together. They're good terrain. And then hitting them, you don't need to spend as much time on terrain. So hitting them with a base coat and then a dry brush and use a big dry brush is usually enough. Maybe you want to pick out a couple of details with a different color, an accent color or something like that. The fact is, the terrain's not there to be looked at. The terrain is there for your models to stand out against. And you can use stuff like polystyrene and that kind of stuff. And then if you don't really care that much, you can buy terrain online as well. Like, people will make it fully painted for you, ship it out to you at a decent price. Etsy's fantastic for that kind of stuff.
Paper mache. I had some extremely weird Assassin's Creed style dream that was scary because I'm afraid of heights, then was satisfying because I like films like V for Vendetta. That's cool. What is that? Oh, I thought that was
That
like molding
is
bread. I had to
yeah,
like focus
that
on
is
it.
one of 5 hills that I just picked up on Etsy. And I think I spent $50, so about $10 a hill. And that's good enough. Someone's made this out of, I think it's styrofoam that they've then sealed over with something. And then, yeah, it looks like a potato. And
Did
then
it
they've
come
thrown on
painted?
some static flock. Yeah, it came painted.
Oh wow.
I think he's just carved some styrofoam and then sprayed it with a sealant so that it's nice and hard. Given it some texture with some sand and that kind of stuff, some gravel, given it a basic dry brush, and then thrown some flock on. And actually, people asked me before what I do for the bases. And yes, the bases that you see here are just sand at the moment. And I will admit, I also chop up bits of sprue and add them on and paint them up as if they're rubble. Because, you know, you got plenty of sprue, might as well use it. But then I also do use static flock as well. So I said I use PVA and sand. I'll put some PVA on, throw some sand over on the top. It will only stick to the PVA, and then I'll seal it again on the top with a little bit more PVA. I'll glue down some bits of sprue. I'll paint them up in a nice accent color, and then I'll dry brush the entire thing. And I've dry brushed the entire thing the same color as my minis because, you know, I expect them to be camouflaged. So they're on that color terrain. That's why they're wearing that color armor. And then you
That's
hit it with a little bit
clever.
more PVA and then just throw in some static flock. And static flock is just it simulates grass. So what you do, you put your PVA there and then you throw the static flock on top, and anything that hits the PVA will stick. Anything that doesn't falls off back into your container. And then you can keep using that. I've had that one thing of static flock for, about 20 years.
Yes, it
It's all
doesn't go
clumpy now. It
off.
doesn't stick up properly.
Okay, it does go off.
Yeah, it doesn't go off.
I was like, what? Oh my god.
Static flock is technically supposed to be applied with a static applicator, which is it's kind of like an airbrush for grass, if you know what I mean. It has a reservoir of static flock in it, and then it uses an electrical, like a little bit of an electrical grid to make certain all the static flock is pointing in the same direction as the fan blows it out, and then it will just hit whatever you do. But that's for big terrain pieces. When you're doing it on minis, you just throw some PVA on, put it on in little dabs. Some of it will stand up, some of it won't. It's good enough.
Actually, that's something I was going to ask because you were painting them on their bases, probably because it's like easier to
Yes.
hold and stuff. But do you remove the bases to put all of the stuff on and then put them back on? Or you just do it around
No.
them?
Okay, so interesting. Interesting is that I've got some minis which are on a flying stand. And the flying stand is actually supposed to be clear. What I've done here was I just used blue tack to hold the mini on the stand and then spray painted the whole thing. And then I've pulled them apart. I'll paint the mini off the base. So the base will be separate. And then I'll get a new flying stand, an actual clear one. And then I'll stick the mini on with that. So in some cases, and like in this example, there's a big pile of guns that I got sitting here. I'll paint them separate from the mini itself. So some people will paint their minis in sub-assemblies, which means that they'll put together bits of their mini so that they're like little clumps. When I painted the ghost keel, which is this one that I keep pulling out because it's my favorite mini. It's the favorite mini that I have that
It
I've ever built or
moves!
painted. It opens up. But to make so that I could paint the inside, I've painted this in the jump pack was one bit. The two halves of the body were separate bits. The legs were one bit, and then the arms were each bits. And I painted all of those, base coated those, edge highlighted them, and then I glued them together so that that could still articulate. And then I painted the head and the weapons. So that's a sub-assembly.
Sick. Yeah, literally. And yeah, okay, that is Scary Nova as well. It's really cool. I'm trying to think of anything else, but I don't think I've seen many models that actually like open and close like that. That must be really difficult to paint as well, because it's like if it's got a moving part, do you like paint it when it's in one position, then close it and paint it in another? Like,
Yep, 100%.
okay.
And the gun that's on it, I'll just pop that off. The gun that's on it also has a rotating barrel, which means that you have to paint it 3 times
Oh my
because you need to paint
god.
each of the sides of the barrel. But if you want it to articulate, you need to paint. You don't have to. You can glue it into the one position, but you can have it cycle. And there's a thing called the Society of Hidden Paint. I think there's a subreddit even with that name.
Huh.
And they will always paint the inside of their miniatures. They will paint the inside of their tanks, even if they're going to glue the doors shut, because
Oh my god.
you
What?
might not see it, but they'll see it. They'll know that it's painted or not. So yeah, I had to paint this
So weird.
because I wanted it to articulate. I had to paint it in separate pieces and then glue it together carefully and carefully glue it together so that the bits that were moving weren't glued.
I can't believe they glue the door in. Like, if I went to all that effort, I'd try to make it in a way that the door would open and shut.
I'm exaggerating. That's the worst part. Like that's the very crazy people. But
Yeah, that's so
I
crazy.
painted the
What?
inside of my transports because I want the doors to be able to open and shut. So yeah, I paint the inside of my transports.
In 1,000 years, a restoration expert will open it and see the inside is painted, and they'll be like, "What the fuck? Who could be bothered?" Spartan's asking,
Yeah,
"What is your favorite loyalist
religious significance.
chapter when it comes to the
Blood
assassins?"
angels.
Oh, there you go. Didn't even finish. Blood Angels.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't even need to finish. I love Sanguinius. He's my bestest boy.
He's the good boy.
Yeah.
Is this where I ask why?
You can if you want, but essentially they're the first minis that I ever painted. The Blood Angels were the poster boys of second edition, and they were the poster boys of the Armageddon campaign. But I like the Blood Angels because they're tragic. They've got the Black Rage and the Red Thirst, which are two faults in their gene seed that they constantly have to live with. Essentially, Blood Angels are space vampires. Um, so Blood Angels have always had the Red Thirst, and the Red Thirst is Space Marines have a whole bunch of extra organs that get put into them to make them superhuman. But one of them is that they can absorb the memories of enemies whose brains they eat, which is one of the weird parts of 40k lore that people just don't really talk about. But in the case of the Blood Angels, that's a bit out of control, and it gives them a thirst for flesh. And when a Blood Angel has killed their enemies, like they will eat them so that they get their memories and they'll get their skills and that kind of stuff. But it's going a bit far, and they've been known to get a thirst for flesh and a thirst for blood that overwhelms them. And after killing after killing enough enemies, they will just get distracted and they'll just start feasting on the dead, even to the exclusion of following the mission objectives. And then the second flaw in their gene seed is called the Black Rage, which happened after their Primarch Sanguinius was killed. And occasionally, like this, because their chapter was devastated and they needed the genes of their Primarch to rebuild their chapter, but Sanguinius was dead, they exsanguinated his body, put that into their blood priests, essentially, their apothecaries, and then used that to build up their chapter again, to build up the gene seeds for their chapter. But the side effect of that is that occasionally, before battle, a blood angel will fall into a trance where they believe that they are 10,000 years ago once more, and that they are Sanguinius, and that they are about to confront their traitorous brother, Horus. And they will see all the enemies before them as Horus. And they will go into what they call the Black Rage, and they will fight to the exclusion of even self-preservation, believing that Horus has betrayed the Emperor and he must be stopped, even though Horus is, 10,000 years dead by this point. but they believe that they are sanguineous and that they believe, and it's like the psychic echoes of his death has imprinted upon them. It's like they're a very metal chapter when you get right down to it, and that's why I love them. I think that they're just great because they're like even above and beyond what a space marine is, which is a genetically enhanced, indoctrinated child soldier who will do unspeakable things in the name of a god emperor who never wanted to be a god in the first place. Even above and beyond that, that's not enough. The sad boys have to go through the worst shit in the world with the inquenchable thirst for blood and this possibility that they will just suddenly one day go psychotic. So that's why I like the Blood Angels.
I liked at the beginning of this when you answered Blood Angels, we were actually playing the Blood Angels theme, so it was like really appropriate at the time. I was like, that's really weird. But yeah. What time do you have to
I
go
can't
to
even hear
bed?
that.
I'm noticing the time. I'm really aware.
Oh, in about half an hour.
Oh, okay. No, you're not terrible then.
We
Okay.
might break down the camera though, because I want to
Yeah.
take some photos of this stuff before bed.
I am off your screen.
Coolio. And then I will join in chat, guys.
Yeah, you'll see him. So if you ever see only awful names left, that's Mock. Now you've officially met Mock. And now I'm sick because I ate too much chocolate. So that's about normal for me.
Righto. Well, see you in the Discord, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Mock. Oh, that was fun. All right, I need to. I think I need to do transform, flip horizontal, transform, flip vertical. I think. We'll see what happens. Six solo. Yeah, this is Planet on Fire remastered. Still 40k stuff. The double kicking though, it's pretty cool. But no, I hope you guys had fun. Nice to meet you, Mr. Mock. Yeah. Gonna chill for a bit. Koi is on the way home. So I suspect he will just kinda like here at some time. It is very basic. It's okay, I guess. That was like, it's kind of below my standard. I could do 4 times better. It was fun learning new stuff with the painting and the lore dumping. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's just change it to just chatting. But nah, I didn't mean technique. I just enjoy kicking in general. Healing with flux till quite done. There we go. Just me now. We'll see. Koi was on his way home half an hour ago. Oh no, not talking about me. What? Hi Tandwa, how are you? Let me give Tandwa a shout out. Hello! I'm so crazy. Hello, welcome. Oh my goodness. We've just finished as well. Not finished the stream. But we had just finished the model section. So I feel very guilty if that's what you were coming for. But hello. You're doing miniatures and models as well. No. Oh my goodness. We just finished that bit. Oh no, I'm so sorry. But I'm very curious what you guys are up to. So please let me know what you guys are doing. Yay! The person Mock who was showing off their 40k is like, I need to go to bed because we're in Australia, so it's like 11:30 p.m. at the moment. I'm just waiting on there's 7 co-hosts that stream on one channel here, so we're waiting on Koi, who's going to appear at some point. Me too. Had a short stream. Just finished the work. That's so cool. What were you doing? I really want to know. We do different types. I do Gunpla. And Mock, who I live with, does 40K. Thank you, Blaze. Yuck, stop it. And someone else here does Lego, so we kind of jump around with different things. So he makes a jump into being like Oracle hyped out. Oh my god, the way he does the shout outs is ridiculous. But no, congrats on finishing what you were finishing as well. That's really cool. And DJ Jeffy, thank you so much for joining the raid. It's really nice to meet you as well, by the way. Oh, I don't think there'll be a koi fish. He's actually just messaged me and been like, "No, I got shit to take care of." That's such a shame. So we're just chilling for a bit, until we raid out. I want to raid out Secret because I want to say hello to our new friends as well, and I want to hear what they're up to. Being chilling, yeah. I do maintain the Instagram for all my miniature works. That's awesome. That's really cool. Belly? Oh my god, Belly. Belly's like, get ready, I'm jiggling the keys. I heard raid. We will in a little bit. But no, that's really cool. Where yeah, we do like sub goals, I suppose, each month. They're like unlock rewards, and my community were like, oh, we really want to do we want to learn how to paint miniatures essentially with 40K. So it was a bit of a one-off workshop, but just learning like all the basics of painting, like why we base and how to base, and the paint colors, like choosing the three primary colors, and then doing how to do the wash for all the shading and the highlighting, and then how to do all of the terrain, and it was really good. It was really good fun actually. So hopefully we've inspired a few people to give it a go or get back into it and stuff like that. So it'll be really cool. But yes, I will have to try pop by sometime. I will try drop a follow after the stream. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid. It's really cool. We've only just started doing stuff in the miniatures category. We usually do a lot more gaming, or on Saturdays we do live cooking. But because I really got into Gunpla, I started doing live builds and kind of slowly went from there. So it's been cool. I don't know many people in the category. I'm still kind of slowly meeting people. Most of it was we want to meet Mark. Some of it was we want to learn how to paint minis. I don't know. A lot of people were really into it. It was good fun. There was a lot of really good questions and people figuring out how to do things. And joining in our miniatures channel on Discord. So I hope we get to see people posting all of their creations. It should be fun. Fun for the group. Oh, did I accidentally unfollow? I did. That's really funny. I was like, where did the channel go? Oh, I unfollowed it by mistake. What's Belly up to? Oh, yeah, right. But yeah, no, I'm so sorry you raided in just as we finished up. This sucks. I'm like, damn it. But hopefully we'll do more soon. Just seeing who's around. It's really cool to meet more people in the category, because actually it's not like I can raid into people doing miniatures at the moment because we don't really know people. Maybe I'll have a look. I'll actually look in the category, miniatures and models, and see like who's around. Oh, Mock's posting the works from tonight. So because of the camera quality, if you wanted to see them in better quality, then he is posting them in the channel now for you guys to see. That's why he disappeared. He's like, I want to take photos for you guys to see. Bub, bub, bub. There's one, I guess. I've never actually like looked properly in the category either, so it's really interesting to see like what people are doing at the moment. Oh, there are Gundam people here. That's cool. Wow, that guy's going crazy. They're French. Maybe this guy. Isn't Gunplay and Zoids when I drag the tail out? Yeah, do it. It'll be good. Because I have the old customized mobilized line of Zoids. That's cool. Gampra. Alright. This person seems to actually be a VTuber, so I'm kind of curious. I'm just gonna pop in and see what they're like. This seems cool. Alright. And I like the Dang. Let me pop into this guy, although they just said almost done. So I really hope not. So yes. Commissar, thank you again for the raid. We're gonna raid out. It is a followers only chat, which I know can be a bit funny. So you know, I encourage, because we're meeting a new friend. They are building Destiny Gundam Spec 2 and Zoo Silhouette. They're doing kit prep at the moment. They look way more professional than me, that's for sure. But I like that they're a VTuber as well. And I'm doing some model kit building on stream. That's cool. That's really cool. Please. I'm just making sure I've got the copy paste of the raid, because I need to do it once I'm in there, which is really confusing. There we go. What day is it? Thursday, Friday. Tomorrow is Oracle. So we're going to be continuing playing Deltarune, which was a redeem, which is really cool. We've been really enjoying it. We're into chapter 2. And then, thank you. And then on Saturday, Chef Wolfie is back. Let me check what he's doing, because I don't fucking remember. Oh, yeah, no, of course I remember. He's doing 40k cooking. That's literally what he's doing. So he's been inspired by the special that Mock was doing, 40k Miniatures Workshop. And so there might be some corpses involved, let's put it that way. But yes, we're going to do some 40k Warhammer Universe inspired live cooking on the stream, which will be a lot of fun. And then Shade, we might be starting Split Fiction. I'll get back to you, but Shade's really wanted to play it. So we'll kind of see how that's going. And then on Sunday, we'll see how we're going and how we're feeling, but we might do Killing Floor with the pack. But we'll see how that's going. Cooking entrails. Maybe. Thank you, everyone. I will see you tomorrow, and we are edging that much closer to September. It should be a lot of fun. Now that I've put up the list, I think it will be good. There we go. I'll see you guys over there. Bye.